a lot of us did see you were a part of the team that brought Cornel West over to the Green Party. I think a lot of us got really excited when he was running as a Green because we knew that you guys did have experience running presidential campaigns. And then there's also the ballot access perspective to that as well. And then, as we all know, you were also the one that recommended Peter Dow to work with Cornel West's campaign. Ultimately, though, the decision did come down to Dr. Westlake deciding whether or not to hire Peter. But then later on, we did see that Dr. West decided to leave the Green Party. I talked to him about that. I talked to you about that. Both of you came onto the show to discuss it. And then not too long after that, Peter Dow did decide to resign from the Cornel West campaign. Some people, since the announcement of your presidential campaign, some people are now wondering if your decision to choose Peter Dow to work with Dr. West's campaign was in an effort to sabotage the campaign. Now, this isn't necessarily what I believe, but these are just some of the things that have come my way before this interview. And I want to get your take on that, because the way that the events have unfolded, it does give some people that perspective that, well, maybe this was just to sabotage Dr. West. So I want to hear your take on that.
So the facts speak for themselves. I introduced Peter Dow, who's a friend, and has been a friend and collaborator for years with many people in the Green Party. And I introduced him to Dr. West and his team very early in the campaign, because I did not want to be a campaign manager, but I felt like we couldn't leave Dr. West without a team. We had persuaded him to come on board, and now he didn't have a team. So, I sort of was cornered into being a campaign manager for a while. And I introduced them to Peter because he was one of the few people with experience on a national level who was willing to share that experience with independents and Greens, because people who want to protect their relationship to power don't do that, because you will be blacklisted forever and your career is over the minute you do that. And Peter is one of the few people who has been sharing campaign management skills with Greens for a while. So I thought it was really important for the Wests to know about him. But truth to tell, I did not recommend that Peter take any position in particular, or that they even hire him. What I did was introduce him. And so for people to say that there was some kind of conspiracy that brought him in, that's ridiculous, because it was me that brought him to the Wests. And if you think I'm the Democratic Party, well, heaven help us.
Yeah, heaven help us. And that's actually a question that we're going to be addressing, Dr. Jill Stein, because I think it actually is a question that's worth addressing, actually. Welcome to the show. I'm your host for tonight. This brand new podcast, Monday Night Rants on RBN. I think that's what I'm going to call the show when I do it at nighttime on Mondays. And it's just because I had a bunch of other stuff to do. Couldn't get around to it, but I'm here. If I didn't say my name, I'm CJ, Jay in real life, or you can just call me Jay here. Wow, I was sick for a while, over a week, and then I came back yesterday, and I thought, okay, I mustered up the strength for a week to come back and do that stream yesterday. And then the nonsense started to trickle in. So we'll be talking about a couple of things today, just stuff that are just off the wall. And then when I saw it verbalized in the video, I'm like, all right, I'll come in and do 90 minutes here today and cover this video, because it's really a reaction to our stream yesterday. So if you didn't know or didn't see it, I did a stream yesterday. Let me see if I have the grafico. What was it yesterday? Oh, this one. So I did a stream yesterday with Dr. Cornel West. I can't find the graphic, but it's the one it's an examination of Dr. Cornel West and how he uses his faith to shield himself in the terrible sort of establishment viewpoints that he has on a lot of issues. So when he's not in his, you know, when he's not in his groove, when he's more in line with the establishment talking points, Russiagate, stuff like that, ending the democracy, he really shows his libertarian, his liberalism. He's really a liberal. I'm trying to be nice in my description. That's why I know you can kind of see that I'm finding a hard time to find nice words here. So I'm probably just going to revert back to regular CJ here, but I'm trying to keep it nice, at least in the beginning here. But you saw the video with Sabby interviewing Jill Stein.
Obviously, I want to address the elephant in the room.
There's a few things in this video I want to address just separately. What she talks about Peter Dow being part of the Green Party, being an ally, being a person to work with several people in the Green Party. If I would have known that, I would not have been supporting the Green Party whatsoever. But it speaks to an issue that I spoke about with the selection, when the selection of Peter Dow came about with Cornel West, and came out that when Cornel West was getting all the heat, Jill Stein had to come out and say, hey, everybody, you know, get let off on Cornel West. I was the one who did it. And it spoke to me this point. The professional managerial class, and Dr. Jill Stein is one of those, Dr. Cornel West is one of those, they have a blind spot. And their blind spot, and in the case with Jill Stein, her blind spot, or in the blind spot, in this blind spot in particular, people with accolades, people who have gone through the schooling to get the accolades, view accolades at a higher level than the average person. And they view those accolades above a person who's seen as a traitor in Peter Dow. So in that case, if it was a working class person in the decision-making room with Peter Dow, a working class person would say, hey, fuck all his credentials. This motherfucker's a traitor. You get what I'm saying? Whereas absent an actual working class person in that room decision-making, that point of view will be lacking. And all you're going to have is a bunch of Dr. Cornel West's and Dr. Jill Stein's patting each other on the back saying, yeah, we made the right decision. He has the right accolades. It's a complete blind spot. And I can clearly hear it with the Green Party, apparently. Yet they don't know why somebody like Howie Hawkins have infiltrated the fucking Green Party. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense, man. So that tidbit of knowledge I wanted to address. It's not a new clip, but just the tidbit of knowledge before we get started has been something the point of view I've been sitting on for a while. Because this is a lot. But anyway, that's the intro. The first video. I do want to show you another video before we get to the current one. And that's Peter Dow. Just to give everybody background on what's going on here and the people involved, and you hear their own voices. Oops. How did that go away? Where'd it go? Okay, so let's try this again. Okay. All right, let's see if it works this time. Should work.
Propaganda term that's basically to crush and to chill support for third parties. It's an absolutely meaningless term. You can say Biden is a spoiler for Cornel West. I saw a tweet the other day. Somebody said, Hillary took away Jill Stein's voters and ruined it for her. Right? It's a meaningless thing. People can vote for whoever they vote for, but actually that's not how the system's set up. So in terms of the campaign website, in terms of Dr. West's position, in terms of fleshing that all out, that's all part of the process of what I'm here to do, because there are mechanics to that. Somebody has to do that. You have to, talk to him and sit down, because these are his positions, not somebody's just going to sit and write it. Now, he's represented these things for all his life. So every campaign, including this one, starts from a kernel, and that kernel is the candidate and their values. Everything else is structured around it. You start building out the team. You build a volunteer operation to be able to connect with people who want to help. Thousands of people have signed up for this campaign. And now we're in the process, now that I'm on board, and methodically connecting with them, giving them the materials and the support they need to go out and spread the word across the country. So fleshing out his position is just another piece of it. But what is on the website, actually, if you really read it, though it may be greed, is really, truly, incredible.
As I'm listening to Peter Dow, I'm thinking more upon what I said about Dr. Jill Stein in the professional managerial class, and just thinking about this campaign and how it's floundered. Think about what he's saying here. He's just talking about, hey guys, hey, you don't have to worry. I'm just here to be the technical guy, step by step, the by the book guy. Is that what a movement campaign should have? Just another glaring reason to me why this guy should have never been selected, even by what Jill Stein said why she was selecting him. That's not the reason you're selecting somebody for this type of campaign. What's up, sir?
What's going on, man?
So, so I wanted the audience to hear Peter Dow and to hear Jill Stein, their own voices speaking about Cornel West or any type of subject before we get to this actual video, because he goes in on Dr. Jill Stein. He says a couple of things about this gentleman, Peter Dow. Now I haven't listened closely enough or to the whole thing. I've been told he says, or we've been in chat room. I've been told he said something about a Jamu. I haven't seen that yet, so I'm not going to comment on the Jamu stuff. I haven't personally heard that part, but let me bring up the video. But is there anything, Rome? Tell people why you join. Why you join, and what's going on with you, and what did you want to preface this with?
I mean, the people know why I'm here, man. When it's dirt to be thrown, we got plenty. That's why I am here, and I am always gonna stand up for my people. Always gonna stand up for RBN. I don't give a damn who you are or who the fuck you think you are. A lot of these people, they think that they're icons, but they would die sellouts, and that's why I am here.
Right on. Now, I don't know about I've heard he said something about RBN. I don't know that part yet. So all I'm commenting on is Dr. Jill Stein and Peter Dow, because I don't know anything about the RBN stuff yet. Like I said, I'm a busy person. I don't listen to this shit, man. I don't got time for these niggas, to be quite honest with you. So you get what I'm saying? So when I'm force-fed it and I'm like, oh, now I see it, you get what I'm saying? But supposedly he said stuff about RBN. I don't care. This is, to me, bro, this is Urkel fucking causing a problem. I don't fucking care what Urkel's fucking has to say. But let's watch this video. And then I'll let you chime in wherever you want. I don't know, whenever you want to chime in your stuff, Rome. But let's I'm gonna let it play through this little intro part first, and then we're gonna get to the main part, because I don't want to spoil this first part. Now, a lot of you have already seen this, so this little snippet that I'm hiding from you've already seen, but I do want to keep it from most of you. Let me expand it here. So we're gonna start here. All right, now let's expand it in I hate freaking the new X. How come when you click on the video you want, it takes you somewhere else now?
And,
Anyway.
hold on. I want to comment on something. Like, I wish people don't bring up Jimmy, bro, because I have went after Jimmy countless of times.
I'm not doing that this stream. I'm not doing that this stream. So
shut the fuck up. It's gonna come up.
Yeah.
It's gonna come up.
No. What I'm telling you is
don't tell me what I don't do. You don't watch me. You don't know my every move. You obviously don't. So don't bring that up. You don't have that on me.
What I'm saying is, Rome, I'm not here for arguing. I'm not. I'm not here for yelling or screaming. I'm not tone policing. I'm just saying that's not why I created this stream. I'm here to talk about this nonsense from this guy who has been he got his feelings hurt. And now he's out here flailing, looking like a clown. He should know how bad he looks. Like, it's a terrible, it's a terrible. This is all because of Nazis, bro. This is all because of Nazis. Understand that.
No, I want to say this. It's because we are educated enough to call him out on his bullshit. People like him have been selling us out, has been keeping us undereducated on who these people and who these men actually are. Think about it. If we didn't have the knowledge that we have right now, we'd probably just like the tweet and be like, oh, that's Dr. Cornel West. Oh, whatever. Right? But now we're looking at it like, no. He's mad because we are educated enough to push back on his bullshit. That's the fucking truth.
I can concur with that. Let's listen. We'll stop and start. I'm pretty sure we're going to stop and start a lot, so let's get started.
Now, okay, some of my secular brothers and sisters say, well, Brother West, you're spending so much time with all of these Christians, and we tired of hearing about all of these Christians. And I say, I spend time with anybody I want to. I just spent time with my Muslim brothers in Houston. I'm meeting with the Buddhists. I met with Mormons. I'm meeting with the secular atheists. I'm a free man. And we'll be.
I want to stop it here because this.
Now,
I couldn't decipher whether or not is he saying he was offended that the Green Party or somebody in the Green Party brought up the fact that he kept wanting to visit Christian groups, and he got offended that they brought that up, that they're saying, why are we keep going to see all these Christians when we have another contingency to go visit? And he apparently got offended by that. But I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily something to be offended by. If you're running a presidential campaign and you're trying to build a labor movement, you're trying to build some sort of movement, Rome, are you only going to go to churches?
No.
Are you going to go to churches? You get what I'm saying? Like, why would you? So, I mean, I don't want to read too much into it, but just off of what face value, what he's saying, it seems like it could be a valuable critique depending on how often you're trying to go and who else are you not going to go see. That's the other part. You get what I'm saying? Like, are you not going to go see the UAW? Are you not going in place of going to the church? You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's a lot of legitimate questions around that, but let's continue.
Be a free man. And so when I hear all, and then it just takes off, and then people reflect on my past. Here come Peter down. He say X, Y, and Z. I said, no, Peter, come on, man, grow up. One of the reasons why we didn't get along is because you were telling these lies about folk who I deeply love.
What do you mean you didn't get along? What does he mean he didn't get along with him, Rome? This is the first time I'm hearing you didn't get along with him, because during the time when you were getting dragged for adding him, you were acting like everything was hunky-dory. You act like you were skipping through the park with him holding hands when we were like this, and this, and now it's coming out that you had the same critique that we had of Peter Dow, but you hired him, sir. That's the difference. You hired him. Cornell West, guy with degrees. Let's get back to what he said. I mean, it's a lot of little snippets like there he throws in. It's like, what? This goes against the original narrative that you were pushing out from your campaign.
Love, and I trusted you, and that trust was shattered, and so forth. That doesn't mean he's a demon. It just mean I don't trust him. Same with Jill.
What trust was shattered? We're gonna get to Jill Stein, but what trust I mean, do you know if it's something I'm missing? Like, I know you probably watched a little more of the whole thing. Is it more that he explains about Peter Dow and the trust?
He just mad. He just hissy fitting. If I'm being honest, he's going after everybody who's. If I'm being honest, he's on his last leg on his campaign, and he's just taking shots back at everybody who took a jab at him. He's jabbing back. That's how I look at it, because he's not giving real inside details on what's actually going on in the Green Party. Why did he actually leave? You know, what was said in between time, right? It's just hissy fits all over, you know, and it's he's trying his best not to hold himself accountable, right? This is all this is. He's trying his best to look at him, Jill, Bill, Nick, DJ, him. Don't look at me. You know, I did praise a Nazi, and my post is still up. I have been educated on this man, his past, his teachings. Why is it still up, Dr. Cornell West? Doctor, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not that fucking smart, but I know not to praise a motherfucking Nazi. You know what I'm saying? I know history enough to be like, okay, well, this ideology mean this, and you know what I'm saying? I should, dude, come on, man. Like, he said he's a free man, but how true is that statement, bro? How true is that statement when every time we look at Dr. Cornel West, he's on the establishment, he's in the establishment, and he's walking the party lines, talking their fucking words. So how free is Dr. Cornel West when he just voted for Joe Biden? He told everybody he went hard against Barack Obama. He educated me against the things that Barack Obama was doing. And then you go and vote for his VP? How free are you? If you are toting the same lines that the mainstream media is, you know, and this is the problem I have with old black revolutionaries. They're not dead yet. And it makes me look at you with a side eye, because how free and how revolutionary are you? Because all of my fucking revolutionary leaders are dead now. You know, we got Malcolm, you know, Martin, Hampton, dead, gone. Because they was leading real liberation movements. Where's yours? All right.
He wrote Race Matters. He wrote a book.
Okay. Okay.
Groundbreaking. Let's play. I want to rewind a little bit and let it play, because I got to hear what he says here about people.
Man, broke up. One of the reasons why we didn't get along is because you were telling these lies about folk who I deeply love, and I trusted you, and that trust was shattered and so forth. That doesn't mean he's a demon. It just mean I don't trust him. Same with Jill Stein. She became untrustworthy. She had arrogant attitudes towards folk who I'm concerned about.
She had arrogant attitudes about folks he's concerned about.
Can we say what's going on, or that shouldn't be?
You gonna be breaking news to me, because I don't even know what you're talking about, sir.
He's talking about his wife. They don't want his wife being in control of certain things in the campaign, which is
I had no idea.
It makes sense, right? It makes sense, because a lot of people had that same problem with Bernie Sanders. Keep your family and your business separate. This is what they is basically telling him. We don't see Dr. Jill fucking husband or boyfriend, whatever she has right now, all up in the goddamn camera in the background, handling financial. No disrespect to Mrs. West, but it makes sense. You keep your family and your business separate. You don't want them, because you're going to run for the leader of the free world. You have to understand that you are putting yourself in danger, and you are putting your family in danger. And do you want your wife to be on front line with you? This is more of a warning than anything. And yes, I love my woman, but I would never put her front line of the care party. Come on now.
Out of here. That's brand new news. That's news to me. So good that you're here, because like I said, I don't know all the details of the background story. I know the detail of this damn stream and this freaking clip that I have right here, but good that you're here to fill in the details, Rom. All right, let's play some more.
So I couldn't work with them in that context. That's just a human thing. I ain't out to demonize nobody. I don't want to act as if they're the devil, but they're untrustworthy. And that's the reason why I don't follow through. And so when I hear...
So this is the reason why he don't follow through, because he found some untrustworthy people. So this is how he explains away his otherwise schizophrenic decision making. This is how he explains it to other people. Anybody looking on the outside, it looks very schizophrenic. He admittedly says, yeah, he admittedly, I forget the phrasing, but I'm gonna paraphrase it. It's something to the effect of, yes, if you look at my history, does seem kind of up and down, but every moment captures its own moment, something like that. That's why you can't look at it together. Don't look at my life together. Look at my 20s together, look at my 30s separately, then my 40s. That's what he's basically saying here. But this is how he explains away his seemingly schizophrenic decision making. Is that he ran into some people he didn't like. You mean like life, nigga? Like life.
And you know what? It be these people who tell us, "Oh, you're not going to get the perfect politician. You're not going to get you're not going to get the perfect cabinet." How about that? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to work with the people that you have, who want the same goals but have different routes of getting there. Maybe if we came up with some type of plan, we can all meet each other at the finish line, but he wanted his way or the highway. You know, yeah. This is what he's telling us. Oh, well, y'all not going to give it to me. I'm going to leave MPP. I leave Green Party. Nigga, it's starting to look like you're the motherfucking problem after a minute. All these.
That's the common denominator. It's the common denominator and leaving and selecting, like, because that's problem number one. Selecting the Green Party, having to leave the Green Party. I'm sorry, selecting the People's Party, having to leave the People's Party with your tail between your legs to go to the Green Party. Now you're on some whatever party he's on right now. But let's listen to some more of this, Ron.
Hear all these little buzzers on what they're saying. I say, oh my God, it's almost like they're addicted to this stuff. Why don't you spend time trying to make sure that these brothers are out of jail? I mean, all these black revolutionary folk on the radio, it look like so many of them are on Jimmy Dore's plantation, but we won't get into all of that right now. I say, why don't you spend time making sure
this is CRA tactics, bro.
We've been trying to do.
This is why niggas say that you are an op. This is the same CIA tactics that they use against black groups, black activists. Oh, you up under this white man. This white man gave you money for that and blah, blah. Man, Jimmy Dore haven't been on fucking RBN in months.
Think about who he's erasing. Think about when people
all the work that we have done, bro. All the fucking work through just a small amount of time that we have had in RBN. All the work that we have done all across this nation, they erase it. They erase it because they want to make us look as bad as possible. These are CIA tactics that they use against black groups. And I'm pretty sure he knows this, doctor. I'm pretty sure you know this.
And who else? This is another thing. Now we're on talking about erasing, because this is an accusation that a person like Cornel West would launch against somebody else. If they say, yeah, Bernie bros are just a bunch of white suburbanites, and Cornel West will be the first one to raise his hand. No, he's not. No, it's not that. Why are you erasing a black radical like me, Dr. Cornel West? That's exactly what you would say, Dr. Cornel West. So why are you doing that to Margaret Kimberly and Ajamu Baraka? Why are you erasing them by saying they're on the Jimmy Dore plantation? You, sir, are erasing black radicals, sir. You
That's
fall
what
back into
black
your
liberals have to
liberal
do.
ways. You fall back into your liberal ways when you get cornered. because you just erased Margaret Kimberly. She's the guest we've had on this network most than anyone else, sir.
Way more than Jimmy Dore.
Ajamu Baraka was just on the show, on the network last week.
Why they don't align us with them?
Because you know why? When they were here, they had critiques for him.
Oh yeah.
That's why he magically doesn't remember Ajamu Baraka and Margaret Kimberly, because when they were both here, they both had critiques for him. Pretty sad, but let's continue with the video.
Do for 35, 40 years, where's your work? Where's your sacrifice? Where's your reflection? What kind of hits are you taking? What kind of burdens are you bearing? Or what are you doing? Are you just playing a game? Well, you see, that's just sad, man. It's a sad thing. That doesn't mean that they're demons. It just means that I just hope and wish that they reach a point in their lives where they get beyond the little pettiness and actually become
the little pettiness. The guy with the Harvard degree went on Tim Black. You talking about the petty nigga of all petty niggas in independent media, the Medea of independent media, otherwise known as Tim Black. You called that Negro up, and you have the audacity to talk about some pettiness, sir. Have a Coke and a smile and have a seat, Negro.
Oh my God, dog. I love this shit. You know he was hurt, but there was nothing else he can do but be hurt, because the truth is out there and we're not falling for that shit no more, bro. You can't just say shit and we're gonna agree with you now. This generation is way different. You know, we didn't have to wait on the newspapers, wait on on what MSNBC, Fox News had to say. It's right then and there. When it happens, it's reported right then and there. We have all the information, and you can't lie to us anymore. We're going to educate our base. We're going to educate our followers. If we wasn't, that would be a disservice to the people. It would have been a disservice to the people if RBN would have never said anything about you praising a Nazi and comparing them to freedom fighters.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
That's fucked up.
And that's what this is all about. You know that? I'm glad you said that, because I just forgot. This is what this is all come from. Like, why do I put out a video about you and your clown being a certified clown because of you calling grouping Nazis with radicals? Your response is to go after everybody else about your campaign. So just like you were saying, Rome, like he just came in hot, was like, fuck this shit. I've been mad and holding this shit in for a while. I'm about to tear everybody down. I've been holding this shit in for a while. I'm mad.
It's
like Drake, I'm mad.
It's a fit. Because what else? Okay, and where do you go from here? It's my question. Because you didn't turn down the Green Party, you done went after independent media. Tim Black can't carry your shit himself. So where do you go from here? You know what I'm saying? It's hilarious, but it's sad at the same time, because I wish Dr. West was just a little bit more educated on foreign policy. I wish he was a little bit stronger when it comes to being a Black radical, because like I said earlier in the show, there's a reason why he is still alive. And being a Black public figure, we don't live that damn long, especially when you have millions of ears on you. Sometimes niggas is just control opposition, you know? And this is the feeling that I am getting, because I have to read books and look up, old videos of my leaders. They're not here anymore. They're not here because they actually led liberation movements, and he have the nerve to speak on, oh, niggas think they revolutionary. He didn't say niggas, but that's what he was doing. If that's how you feeling, you have lived 2 lifetimes of mine. You know what I'm saying? You have more than enough time to liberate your people. You have more than enough time to build your own party. You wouldn't have to go to MPP, Green Party, Independent. You would have had your own party of radical blacks, Dr. West. So you're lacking. We're just getting started. And I'm sorry, but I have no remorse for these old niggas who's been here for fucking decades, and all they have to show for their work is fucking books and marches. That don't do nothing but help you and your image, my nigga. We out here underground. JB got dialysis probably tomorrow. He was just feeding people yesterday and the week before. I'm steady doing this, working my ass off, building these houses around fucking Detroit for a little bit of nothing. Still have to take care of my house, build a library, go to the garden, take care of that, feed my motherfucking people, and still make time. We're gonna, like, I'm telling you, these people, you don't want to go there. But because by the time I am your age, I guarantee I will have way more up under my motherfucking belt. I guarantee that. I put that on my grandma. I will have way more up under my belt. So if you want to talk about being revolutionary, yeah, you don't want to take it there. You don't even want to tell people to arm up against. Come on, man. You can't even call fucking Joe Biden a fucking fascist. You want to talk about revolutionary, man? Get the fuck. Let me get some more water.
Yeah, do you? All right. I'll play some more of the video real quick. Oh, did I hit play? Oh, sorry.
Substantive, genuine revolutionaries loving the people, focusing on the people in such a way that they are the fundamental focus of your work, not these little buzzes that go around and around. It's all about market. It's all about money. It's all about Tucker Carlson got 200 million, so he's the big man. No, Tucker is still a white supremacist who conforms to.
Wait, what is Tucker? Is Tucker supposed to be? Is he changing subjects, or is Tucker also?
I told you before,
Jill Stein and like, who is Tucker? Who is that going after?
He's just going down the line, nigga. He's just going down the line. There's no substance to this. He's just going down the line. He's a jazz man, remember?
This nigga has a degree. This nigga has degrees, see, sir? This nigga has degrees. I don't mean the kind you roll under your arm either, nigga. This nigga has degrees, G. I guess. I guess.
The neo-fascist sensibilities. I don't care how many he has on his podcast. But if it's just about size, and here Paul Street, who I have such great respect for, he made the point with tremendous power. He said, I thought independent media was going to be independent. No, independent media too often, there's some good ones, but too often, they just trying to make money too. And they going with the big money, they going with the.
What does that mean? Independent media is trying to make money so they can stay independent.
Yes.
So I don't understand what he.
I kind of feel him on this because he might be talking about like some breaking points type of shit, you know?
Yeah. I know. I don't feel like he's talking about us.
I can halfway agree with him on that, but at the same time, we have to make money. How else will we be able to do what the fuck that we do, you know, or for the equipment?
Right. It's a lazy analysis by him, because if you're saying that simply trying to make money as an independent entity, that makes you bad, you got to have more analysis here, sir, doctor, guy with degrees.
This the same nigga that took money from a fucking billionaire.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. The guy who collects Hitler memorabilia. Another Nazi. We should have knew it then. Look at that, bro. Another Nazi lover over there. Another, what's the name? I'm sure somebody in the chat. What's the name? The guy who donated to his campaign. And let's see in the chat.
People had to bag that name to get that money back.
Yeah. Marlo or something like that. Let me see. Hold on. Somebody in the chat.
Holy shit.
Says it not so far. If somebody says that, I'll put it up there. But let's get back to the video here. Almost about halfway done.
The big markets, they going with those who have the most eyeballs. Where's the integrity? and then you're going to attack other people's integrity. Please, it's a sad situation. So I said, let me talk to my brother Tim, just to be able to reflect on this thing. Because I do stand corrected if I'm wrong. I acknowledge that. But I can tell you one thing too, that's when folks start coming at your loved ones, I get very upset.
Now, let's talk about this, because I'm the same way. I don't play people coming after loved ones. I showed a tweet from his wife and I read it. I didn't comment on her, so I don't believe he's talking about me. I believe he's talking about somebody else or some other entity. Because understand, there was a lot of people he was upset with at this time, not just RBN. Black Power Media had said gave him a critique, and he was mad. Like, all of this happened right before this stream. So that particular part, I don't know if you feel like that's us, but I don't feel like that's part is particular.
I think just like how they jammed us and Jimmy Dore in together, they jamming us and Black Power Media in, so he can just get it all over. Because niggas got the same critiques. We have the same critiques, and whether you look at it, I'm pretty sure he throwing some elbows. And believe it or not, man, he did come after you.
He did come back to me?
Yeah. He replied.
Let me see it then. I haven't seen. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I've only maybe watched a little more, another 30 seconds of this, and then that was it for me.
Let me talk to my brother Tim, just to be able to reflect on this thing, because I do stand corrected if I'm wrong. I acknowledge that. But I can tell you.
Hold on.
Coming at you.
I just heard this. I stand corrected if I'm wrong. What are you talking about? When you stood up for a Nazi, when you gave praise to a Nazi, or because what was you wrong on?
No, what he does is he does these blanket apologies so that he can say he apologized. He does these blankets, and I hate this. There's a lot of this sort of blanket apology that goes in Black boomer churches. They do this. I'm just being honest with you. My mom does it a lot. A lot of her friends does it a lot. It's just, honey, if I hurt you in any way, I apologize. Do you know what you exactly did? No, but if I did, it's just kind of a blanket.
I don't care about
apology. Yeah, so maybe I don't know. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that was it, but let's listen some more.
At your loved ones, I get very upset.
Oh, so that's the part I was on. Like, if somebody went after his loved one, I don't know what he means go after. I don't think me reading her tweet means going after him. I'm starting to believe, because it might be ringing true to how you said, how the Greens didn't want his wife to be so involved or something like that. Is that were you speaking to that? So maybe that's what he means by going after his loved ones. I'm just trying to grasp. Let's see.
Very upset. The gangster in me is forever fighting the best in me, which is trying to stay in contact with.
Okay. Come on, bro.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm too high for this shit.
He needs to stop using this. He needs to stop using this gangster in me. Cornell West, you don't have to project this pseudo gangster in order to just say I'm highly upset. I'm very upset. You don't got to create an alter ego to prove a point that when I'm really upset, I convert to some sort of, gangster Voltron or some shit like that. You don't need to say that. You don't need to keep doing this. You don't need to play this, I got a gangster side. You do not, sir.
I ain't never met a gangster that voted for Joe Biden. I never met a gangster.
Gangster where? In the powder room?
With the humanity of other people, so I can love my crooked neighbor with my crooked heart, and whatever deeds they perform, that deed does not fully exhaust their humanity. They can be different, they can change, they can go another way. And that's just my way of being in the world. I'm not giving that up at all. In fact, some people saying, oh, Brother West, you ought to delete your tweet because you're losing votes. You ought to hey, I'm not that kind of brother.
I'm not the kind of brother that learns the lesson and corrects.
I'm not going to listen to my voters. And this is where you are at. Oh, you don't listen to your voters. You don't listen to the people that support you. We told you not to leave the Green Party. You left the Green Party because it was your way or the highway. Now niggas can't even vote for you. The motherfuckers who want to vote for you don't even have.
No. He is such a buffoon. He's the dumbest, smartest person I know. You're such a fucking buffoon.
Ain't that at all? Hold on. Like a moral witness, don't.
I'm sorry.
It's ridiculous to have degrees like this and really be this out of it. It's really
Why wouldn't you delete your tweet praising a motherfucking Nazi, bro? He would do it if it was a gang member. He would do it if it was a this or a that, or if it was a Russian puppet or whatever the fuck it may be. But actual Nazi, this is all we are asking is delete a tweet. We're not asking you to arm up, put a vest on, go kill somebody, Dr. Cornell West. We're not asking you to get on the streets with us. You know, we're just asking you to delete a tweet, and you can't even do that for the people. Well, damn.
Arrogant, just arrogant. But Nick is here. What's up, Nick?
Yo, what's popping? I had to jump on today, man. Y'all popping off. I can't put my camera on. I don't have good lighting.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, I don't have good lighting where I'm at. So that's why.
As long as you're here.
And I don't want to get on camera. You know what I mean? But I decided to get on stream because I didn't watch the video because I was like, bro, this shit's hilarious. I was like behind on all of this. I expected some sort of reaction to our criticism because I think mine was quite scathing. When you had multiple RBN members who ratioed you had to respond, right? I didn't expect the response to be this sad. You know what I mean? I tell you guys, I feel good to have the dumbest critics because my critique of Dr. Cornel West was pretty damn scathing. He's weak on white supremacy, and we called him out for being weak on white supremacy. He said, and this is what got me on stream, that we on the Jimmy Dore plantation.
That's fucked up.
Sir, you voted for Jim Crow Joe. You know the guy who's committing a genocide right now? The guy who committed a genocide right now, you voted for him, sir. Dr. Cornel West, you are on the Jim Crow Joe plantation. You voted for the guy who committed genocide. You want to tie us to Jimmy Dore? You praised Ronald Reagan as a freedom fighter, sir.
What?
Yes.
Shall I pull up the tweet? Shall I pull up the tweet?
Yes, bro. This is like 11 years ago.
You don't want to have this rap battle, my friend. I swear to God, I didn't want to make a diss track. We just had to get you because you said something stupid. You don't want to have this diss battle with me, sir. You praise Ronald Reagan as a freedom fighter. You praise a unhinged Nazi who said he wanted to deport and kill Muslims in Russia as your brother. But you want to smear us at Jimmy Dore light? Even if that's true, that's better than being a Biden sycophant like you are, sir. Like praising out Navalny like you did, sir. Like calling Ronald Reagan a freedom fighter like you did, sir. And how old are you? What he's like in 60, 70? I made my mistakes. I voted for Obama. I did that when I was in my 20s, sir. You 60 years old talking about Ronald Reagan, a freedom fighter. How old are you? You got access to the same information we do, sir. You said Ronald Reagan, a freedom fighter. You said that in 2011. I was 23 years old. I wasn't dumb enough to say something stupid like that, but you said it. I wasn't 30 years old, but I was smart enough to realize that if I vote for Jim Crow Joe, this nigga turned me up, boy. But you didn't, sir. He wasn't smart enough to realize that Joe Biden, by voting for him, would enable a genocide. I saw this shit coming a long time, sir. You got degrees. You can't see what the average working class people see, and it kills you. You lack curiosity. You don't even. It took me all but 30 minutes to an hour to know who Navalny is. You think you're calling out the military industrial complex, but you repeating CIA talking points. You are weak on the CIA, sir. You are weak on the CIA. You are weak on white supremacy. As you call Jimmy Dore Trump, or you praise someone who's worse than Donald Trump. Donald Trump said he wanted to deport some Muslims. Navalny said he wanted to deport all Muslims. Meanwhile, you hate Trump, but you call him Brother Navalny. So you got contradictions that we called out that you can't handle because you have an ego. But let's continue. I tried to say I'm gonna be chilling here There's gonna be a lot of saying.
Yeah,
You're weak on supremacy. You're weak on Nazism, even though you think you're not. You're weak. I show no quarter to white supremacists. You wouldn't catch me dead praising Joe Biden. You wouldn't catch me dead praising Navalny. That's what you did, sir. And you're upset because we are holding you accountable like you said you wanted us to. When you first came on our show, you said you wanted us to hold us accountable. And then we start holding you accountable. And now so you crying to Tim Black like a fucking bitch. Like a little parent. You said on our show, fam, and everyone in the chat, you guys can confirm, you guys all saw the episode. He said he wants to go on RBN and he wants us to hold him accountable. And then the second we held him accountable, he started crying.
Sir.
No, all of a sudden, he don't want to go on the show no more. All of a sudden, he running Tim Black like a little Karen. He just said he wants to hold us accountable. He didn't really mean it. When he really wanted, he wanted us to turn to a media arm to him. He wanted us to be loyal to him. And that is not what's going to happen, sir. We are not part of the sellout bourgeoisie like you. You're willing to be weak on white supremacy and Nazism in order to fit in with liberals that already hate your black ass. That's pathetic. The same Zionists that kicked your black ass out of Harvard, you're trying to appease with a Navalny tweet. Sellout. That's sad. That's sad. You don't want our praise. You don't give a fuck about us. You want the liberals to like you. You want the Biden voters to like you. So you praise Navalny, a fucking Nazi. You're willing to be weak on Nazis and white supremacy in order to please who? You weak motherfucker. That's what you did.
That's why he wouldn't. That's why he wouldn't hold Joe Biden accountable. It was so hard for him to spit it out. Why is it so hard for you to say Joe Biden is a fucking fascist? It took months for him to say that shit.
Facts. All right, let's get back to the video. And Nick, actually, let me just make this point. It's so weird. You may have heard this part right when you got on. It's so weird that he has this Nazi tweet, and then he had a donor, and that donor, Harlan Crow is his name. Now I looked it up. Remember him? It was a big deal because he was a donor who collected Hitler memorabilia. How is this the second time you're involved with somebody who's very interested in Nazism, and you are supposedly this person who's against white supremacy? Just weird. That's bizarre. But let's continue.
Does not fully exhaust their humanity. They can be different. They can change. They can go another way. And that's just my way of being in the world. I'm not giving that up at all. In fact, some people saying, "Oh, Brother West, you ought to delete your tweet because you're losing votes. You ought to." Hey, I'm not that kind of brother. Not at all. If you don't like my moral witness, don't vote for me. You can vote for Jill Stein. I don't vote for Jill Stein. I've lost faith in her. I've lost any kind of trustworthiness in her, but she can run. She got good position. But I don't have that kind of deep respect I used to have. I had a chance. If I knew her then, I wouldn't have voted for her.
Wow. What could be so egregious that now, if you knew this new information you have in 2024, if you knew that back in, 2016, 12, whatever she ran, you would not have voted for her. That is
how about a three strikes bill?
Ronald Reagan's a freedom fighter, but RBN and Jill Stein are grifters. But Ronald Reagan's a freedom fighter, though. Not a big fan of Jill Stein, but he likes him. Ronald Reagan's a freedom fighter. Dr. Cornel West is an anti-communist, guys. Do you guys understand that anti-communism led to death of millions? Millions of who? Millions of black and brown people in the global south. That is who Dr. Cornel West endorsed. Dr. Cornel West is weak on white supremacy, and he's upset because we're calling him out on it. Ronald Reagan was a freedom fighter in terms of supporting our Jewish brothers and sisters in the Soviet Union and opposing vicious forms of communism. This is anti-communist trash, the ideology that led to the death of millions and destroyed the global working class that many countries are just now recovering from.
Yes. That ours may not recover from.
Not speaking truth to power. He does not speak truth to power, because if you spoke truth to power, that means explain to people who Alexei Navalny is. instead of praising him. You don't speak truth to power. Speaking truth to power means you tell the truth no matter if that made people uncomfortable. You are using your Christian faith, like CJ says, so you don't speak truth to power because you say, "Oh, I'm a jazz man. I don't want to be I don't want to be mean to people." So you willing to coddle Nazis and white supremacists when the position that we should have after anti-communism and white supremacy and Nazism led to the death of millions is that there should be no weakness on this at all. No wiggle room whatsoever for white supremacy. But Dr. Cornel West allows that wiggle room. Why? So he can get along with the PMC class.
I don't trust nobody.
But Ronald Reagan, the freedom fighter.
I can't trust nobody that's that old and that smart, that black, and that liberal. It just don't match, right? Because the older we get, the more radical we get. Because you know what I'm saying? We black man, we black people in this world. We got to go through these things. How can you see what we have been doing, not only to our own people, but across the world, have this knowledge and still be a black liberal in 2020? That don't make no sense to me. It really doesn't.
You see what I mean? But that's just part of the process. That don't mean she's a demon or nothing. I just got a close look and I draw my conclusion. So if you can vote for Sister Jill, I am who I am. I take my stances. And if you want to vote for me, this is what you're getting. I'm not changing who I am just in order to, or lessening my voice when it comes to moral witness, just in order to get votes. That's not who I am. Well, you don't need to be in politics. Really? Watch our campaign.
And we have watched it, and it is a fucking train wreck. So what are you talking about, Cornel West? How can you with an honest face, with an honest tone, say what your campaign is doing is at all what your constituency wants? How can you say that? How can you say being on less ballots is in any way a good thing for your constituency, for your campaign? How can you say that, Cornel West? Who's your campaign manager, Cornel West?
The Democrats.
What ballots are you going to be on?
I told you guys, never trust a leader that tell you to shut up and fall in line.
Man.
Dr. Cornel West is not working with us. He's not in community with us. He's not coming to the same conclusion with us. He's not trying to meet us halfway. He's telling us to shut up and fall in line, which is why he did an interview with literally every single person on RBN. 3 times I explained to him why Joe Biden is a fascist and why he's not the lesser two evil for Donald Trump. In fact, Sabby did the same thing as well. Every single RBN member had this conversation with them, and then he goes on other interviews and then explains how Joe Biden is the lesser of two evils. This is not someone who in community with us. This is someone who wants to fall in line. Don't trust someone who wants that. And at this point, he's upset because people are criticizing him because he thought he's going to be anointed a leader. Like, if you're going to put your hand up and volunteer yourself to be a leader, it comes with a massive amount of responsibility and grace, none in which Dr. Cornel West showed. He expected everyone to fall behind his social democrat, pro-CIA, anti-communist bullshit, pro-lesser of two evils bullshit, his pro-Nazi Navalny praising bullshit, and now when people push back on stuff that we wasn't happy, like, I could not have handled this man with more kids' gloves. Like I said on my live stream, I said I don't think it's anything bad about his character. Like I said, there's so many nice things we say while we critiquing your position, but his ego still can't handle it. That's why I'm done with the PMC left. I'm done with social democrats. I am done holding back on people's feelings. Like I said this year, we have held back on this guy. We have just said what we disagree with this man on whenever he gets something wrong, and we do so with grace. We never name call this man. I have been nothing but graceful towards Dr. Cornel West. He just can't handle younger, more intellectually curious people correcting him because he has no intellectual curiosity. He thought he got his doctorate degree and decided he knew it all in the 80s and 90s and stopped developing. Well, what other conclusion do you make when you're praising white supremacists, pro-CIA bots? You voting for Jim Crow Joe in the year 2020. This is someone who stopped progression. That's why he had no criticism of the COVID narrative, the mandates. He still view politics as 2015. He hasn't moved the fuck on. He praising Dr. Fauci. He praising fucking Dr. Fauci because he's in 2015. He hasn't advanced. We constantly reading. We constantly study. I tell you guys, I read like 8 to 10 articles a day. At least constantly trying to short my weaknesses, learning new stuff. That is the pressure that we feel as RBN. And we're not even running for office. It's because I know if I do a live stream and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, I'm going to get roasted.
Yeah.
And it's because of this pressure that I force myself to read, to become smarter every single day. But Dr. Cornel West, his position is fuck it. Fuck it. If you correct me, you must be against me. You must be a hater. It's deeply intellectually immature and very surprising that he has his position, because I'm very humbled. I have been humbled in this space many times. I have been wrong on stuff many times, and I brush it off and I come back stronger. Dr. Cornel West gets it wrong on praising a Nazi, and he goes have a Karen meltdown in response. This is not someone who's humble. This is someone who wants to be a leader. This is someone who wants to be above you. And this is exactly why I personally said many times, I don't believe in leader movements, because it always leads with egomaniacs like this guy who believe he can't be questioned. RBN is a leaderless movement. That's why we get shit done. Go ahead, let's continue.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, all right. So I'm listening still, because he said some other stuff about us. Let's
Keep
see.
track of what we're gonna do. Watch when Biden's militarism and his enabling of vicious genocide begins to pull the cover over him more and more. Watch when Trump goes to jail. Watch when all these new possibilities that nobody's talking about begin to bloom and loom large. And watch, I'm doing the same thing, same consistency, same constancy, same humanistic stance, same Christian witness, and looking at the world through the lens of the least of these and the wretched of the earth, no matter what the system of oppression is. Fascism comes in a lot of different forms.
Did this nigga just say Trump going to jail?
I don't think he did.
No,
No,
I think he said, watch when Trump go to jail. He said that.
Oh, you mean he was saying examples? Yeah, he was saying like, watch when Biden does this, watch when Trump does this. Yes, he did do that.
This is liberal talking point. Let me go handle this shit. I'll be right back.
He must believe. So he basically believes, I guess, he's saying basically the duopoly candidates are going to falter, and all of these masses of people are going to sprinkle out across all the independent candidates. The problem is, Cornel West, even if you claim to be a independent candidate, you actually have to go get on ballots. That's the problem. Texas and California alone, you know how many signatures you need? Over 500,000.
Deeply unserious.
How are you getting that done?
Deeply unserious. That's what deeply, and that's one of the main things we criticize them on, was just deeply unserious strategy. But let's continue on. Deeply unserious. Even if I didn't turn on Dr. Cornel West, I wouldn't be able to vote for him because he's not going to be in the ballot in Missouri. The fucking, like, so stupid. Let's continue.
Jill Stein will be on the ballot.
Yep. Jill Stein's going to be on the ballot. Fucking idiot.
Could have been Cornell.
Yeah, I'm going to run for president.
Authoritarian comes in a lot of different forms.
Sorry, but you guys remember when he explained why he didn't want to run the Green Party? He was like, well, I didn't want to run the Green Party because it would be hard to build a movement. They had a lot of people in the party had expectations of me. This is what he was saying. He was like, well, when you run in the party, like the Green Party, they have expectations of you. You got to work in the local church. You mean building a movement, motherfucker? You try to run for president while skipping steps?
Yes.
Like, what was it with Sabby? Who did he get an interview with? We was talking about why he didn't run Green Party. And then
it was Sabby.
Yeah, essentially his argument was it essentially was too much work. Why do you put your hand up in the first place then? The reason why you run for president is to build a movement. He went in an entire party to become a Dr. Cornel West, like fucking like organization that like randomly praises him, like that just spread his message. No, you're supposed to organize a party and a movement, and he decided not to run the Green Party because he didn't want to do that work. So why are you running? What is the point of this vanity campaign that you're doing? But anyway, sorry, let's continue. See
what probably happened is You know, what's the guy from the People's Party? The guy that everybody hates from the People's Party. So you know that guy. So just he talked them into doing this. So he probably gave this whole spiel about how running wasn't really a big deal, because in the People Party, it wasn't a big deal. There wasn't a bunch of hurdles. They could just give you the freaking thing because it was really nothing. So he agreed. Okay, all I have to do, I can run for president, and all I got to do is the same stuff I already do. Go on corporate media and let them praise me. Go on some independent media and let them praise me. Show up to a couple of events and let them praise me. Okay,
Yeah,
the same life I've already been living.
Yeah, he went in a cult because his objection. Watch the interview he had with Savvy Fam, was that they wanted him to participate in the primaries, in the debates. He wanted to be anointed and wanted to be a cult leader. Dr. Jill Stein just announced that she won the Missouri Green Party nomination. You guys see how Dr. Jill Stein wanted to go through the process to build a movement? That is not what he wanted. He wanted a cult party. He saw opportunity for that. And then now that RBN didn't want to be his media arm, which he tried to turn us into, he's throwing a hissy fit on his media arm. Tim Black was like, I'm okay with being a media arm. I don't give a fuck about this. I'm a grifter. RBN, we are not willing to be a media arm for a politician. We're willing to ask tough questions for those who want power. Dr. Cornel West was like, fuck that. I want the grifter. I want the guy who want to be the media arm. You know what I mean? It's deeply unserious and very disappointing. Like the kind of charlatan this guy became. Like this is like, if you want to be a leader, many people, I said this last stream, I don't say this to brag, but many people ask me to run. Like many people ask me to run for office, and I decline because I don't think I'm ready. It's a level of responsibility, a huge responsibility that you're taking. If you want to raise your hand to be a leader of a movement, if you want people to donate to you, you want to siphon resources from the working class. That's why I keep saying no, because I'm not ready. I don't want to waste money just to lose by 30 points to Emmanuel Cleaver. You know what I mean? So you got to be ready. And if you are taking that leadership position, you got to take it with great humility. You got to be able to learn. You got to be able to hustle. You don't go on to these channels that are going to give you softball interviews so you can have these Karen meltdowns. Is this how you're going to handle world leaders? Is this how you're going to handle Chuck Schumer? In negotiating, you're going to have a bad interview with Chuck Schumer. You're going to go on Tim Black and cry about it? What kind of shit is this? But let's continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt longer, but let's continue.
And I'm against all of those different forms, but my focus is, in fact, against the U.S. empire. There's no doubt about that. I'm in the belly of this beast. But that doesn't mean that I don't have a concern for Russians, don't have a concern for Iranians, and don't have a concern for the Indonesians, don't have a concern for Uganda and so forth. No, not at all. And there I clash with so many of my leftist brothers and sisters and siblings. We have overlap, but we got different views.
Because you're a cultural
so the only thing they can see me say that and say, well, he's a...
Go ahead.
See, this is that social democrat bullshit that I was telling Dr. Cornel West about. He had nothing to say in my face about it. He's a cultural imperialist. Who are you as someone who benefits in the heart of the most violent empire of all time to tell Iran what the fuck they can do? To tell enemies of the United States, the enemies of empire, how they should engage in resisting the most violent empire when you benefit from it. You pay taxes in the most violent empire ever, but you think you can fucking demonize China and Iran? We are the biggest empire. And when you do this, what you think you're being moral or not, what you're doing is you're providing the cover for the neocons to engage in their endless wars. When you're like, yo, I think the Iranian regime is authoritarian fascist, then the CIA and the military industrial complex are okay, let's do something about it then. Like you are doing nothing but backing up their bullshit. When you do this, that's why we have to humanize our enemies, acknowledge the differences in culture that we have, and lead by example. You demonizing other countries and other cultures while you live in the largest prison state ever. A country with no health care, where Black people's life expectancy have fell over the last few decades, is moral pondering and does nothing but help elevate your status among the PMC class. Because those same people can say, well, at least Dr. Cornel West called out the Iranian regime. At least Dr. Cornel West wanted to call out China. It accomplishes nothing other than getting PMC points, which we don't care about. What you're doing is serving empire with this bullshit. But I apologize. Let's continue.
he's a liberal. Well, what do you mean by liberal? I'm no liberal at all.
What?
I'm committed to the dignity of human beings. And my dear brother John Mubarak will say this, liberal equivocation, brother West. No, it ain't liberal equivocation. It's moral clarity from.
So Ajamu, it sounds like, gave him the same critique that we're giving him. And he's saying, Ajamu called it liberal equivocation. He said, no. Something about morality, which he's trying to do with this Nazi person. It's about morality. Yeah, he's a Nazi. Is that what you're standing on? That he's a Nazi, but they still deserve humanity, which is fine. Don't die in prison. Gotcha. What does that have to do with saying that they're just like Mumia? It's two separate things that he's not addressing intentionally. He's intentionally trying to pretend like one means the other and not addressing it.
And also,
from my point of view.
Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead. We continue.
Barack will say this, liberal equivocation, brother West. No, it ain't liberal equivocation. It's moral clarity from my point of view.
Labels.
All these different labels.
Right.
And we just have different views.
Stuff,
you don't want to say anything critical.
You guys see, this is the anti-intellectualism I'm talking about. Look, no, words mean stuff. You're an anti-communist and you praise a Nazi and a white supremacist. You guys say, oh, you talking about labels. No, we are not using the labels. Navalny is a white supremacist, sir. You understand? Biden is a genocidal capitalist who you voted for. You don't have to be obsessed with labels to acknowledge the truth. You see how they're, just labels.
Yeah.
No, those labels are important. Those labels are important. See, white supremacists, all just labels. Oh, come on, you guys using labels. Oh, yeah, Jim Crow Joe's a racist. All labels. He calling the guy I'm voting for a capitalist, all just labels. You guys see this is cope. This is excuses they use to justify their anti-intellectualism. The fact that you were the anti-communist who don't understand geopolitical affairs and why people wanted to resist the U.S. empire. This is the same guy who both sides October 7th who condemned Hamas for resisting a genocidal apartheid state. You pay taxes to Israel, sir. You pay taxes to a genocidal state. You fund and arm them with your taxes, but you think you can condemn Hamas, Dr. West? See, I'm more than happy to have Dr. West on. I would love to ask some of these questions. Like, that's kind of revolutionary bullshit. It is bullshit meant to destroy the revolutionary will of the masses. If you are facing a giant empire and you are fighting against a status quo, which is illegitimate, Dr. Cornel West will tell you to shut the fuck up and die. Virtue signal, so his position will be easier. Dr. Cornel West wants his position as an intellectual to be easier, so he can say, oh, the Palestinians are dying with honor. He don't actually care about the result of the Palestinians. That's why he condemns Hamas. He's a coward. If you're in the United States empire, you're condemning the resistance of the empire you pay taxes to. You are a coward, Dr. West. You think I've been mean on you before now? Do you understand how much I've been holding back on you, you anti-communist coward? Now, let's continue.
And hold on. And this says a lot about his stance on Israel. This tells you that even if he was to win, he will still fund Israel. He will still say stupid shit like, I believe in Israel have the right to defend itself. Israel has the right to exist and bullshit like that, right? He's gonna two sides until all of them people are dead. He's gonna two sides until everybody is fucking dead. And look, I have put out a video about cowards. How cowards get people killed too. Just because you didn't pull the trigger don't mean you're not getting people killed, because when you don't stand up, when we all don't stand up, we all get knocked down. So all this liberal talking point bullshit, if you don't stand up for the people of Palestine, Yemen, if you don't stand up for even the people for the people of China, then we all gonna get knocked down, Dr. West. We're all gonna get knocked the fuck down.
Critical about Russia, don't want to say anything critical about Iran, don't want to say anything critical about China, then go on about your way and be the kind of revolutionary you want. We'll overlap when we overlap, but I'm going to be concerned about political prisoners in China, in Russia, in Iran, in Uganda, wherever it is, and especially
Why are they political prisoners? Why is a big question, bro? Why is he a political prisoner? You know, because
oh my God, this dude is a piece of shit. Like, so he's endorsing someone who betrays his country on behalf of an intelligence agency of a hostile foreign empire. Now, Vonnie was backed up by the CIA, was requesting bribes from the MI6 to destabilize his country. He's a traitor. So if we had a revolution, let's say we had a revolution, Rome, Dr. Cornel West would endorse the CIA or someone infiltrating that revolution and overthrowing it. If someone tried to do what Nalbani did, I would take him out too. That's what revolutionaries do. You don't allow motherfuckers to infiltrate and do the bidding of a foreign government. No one would allow that. So when you hear Dr. Cornel West say this, make no mistake, this is pro-CIA propaganda. Like there's differences in political prisoners. There's differences in their realities. You have people who are betraying their country in order to side with the CIA in the United States. That is who Nalbani is. He's still calling them political prisoners. He forgot. He learned nothing during this.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If we had a revolution and we had a motherfucker like that, he wouldn't even make it to prison. He wouldn't even make it to prison. I'll do it like how the USSR did. If you see Hitler, take the shot. You know. And that goes for every other fucking Nazi. I'm not as nice as Putin or Russia or them Russians. They wouldn't even see prison, nigga. And then what's going to be his stance on that? Oh, y'all taking it too far. It's too much blood. No. It's not enough. Come on, now.
And my dear brother, El Jamil in the United States and many other political prisoners in the U.S. empire. That's just the way I wrote. And I don't spend a lot of time on it. People say, oh, you must be down and out. No. I just spent the day with some of the most precious and priceless human beings, raising their voices, talking about Gaza, talking about genocide within the context of the Black church. And I'm going to do the same thing 3 times a day for the next week again. That's what this moment in the movement, this campaign is all about.
You guys think I'm gonna let people forget who voted for this genocidal maniac?
Yep.
They said Anthony Blinken was his foreign policy advisor, sir, and you still voted for him. You guys gave power to the person that's led to a genocide. But let's continue.
Hold on, Nick. Remember what they always say. I didn't vote for Biden for this or that. I voted for trans rights. I voted to save democracy. So that blood isn't on my hands. You know what I'm saying? When he first got into office and on his first day he bombed Syria, those people blood isn't on my hands because I voted for trans rights. They always try to, you know what I'm saying, not just throw accountability away, always, or trying to act like they didn't even vote for this man in the first fucking place. You know.
Guys, sorry, Ron, but I talked to these communists in Brazil. Like that's where I met Josana at. You know what I mean? And then ever since Twitter, like I talking to people who live in China, like in these spaces I used to do all the time. You guys know they don't have these excuses that we come up with in the United States. They find it unbelievably reprehensible that anyone would vote for someone like Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Like if you ask like communists in Southeast Asia, when you ask socialists in the global South, the idea of vote, that's why they don't think there's a left in the United States. They laugh at the idea of left in the United States. They see Bernie Sanders endorsing Biden. They see the left voting for war criminals. And that's like unbelievable. Hell no, that's not a left. Meanwhile, you vote for the guy who not only completely destabilized the Middle East, but then led the next genocide, one of the most brutal military campaigns that we ever seen. Do you guys think that people outside the empire are like, he had no choice, blah, blah, blah. Oh no, he had no, they view that with contempt, fam. And I know that I talk to these people. I interact with these people. In the West, these PMC liberals, they disassociate themselves from their vote. Like, I had no choice. You know what I mean? I just engaged. No, you are selling out the global working class. And that is literally what you did, Dr. West. You voted for the guy who slaughtered tens of thousands of Palestinians, who's fighting against the ICJ on their genocidal rulings. And you think you're just doing some virtual signaling bullshit that's enough to wash that away?
And there's no way he's not educated on these things that's going on in the world, from the war in Iraq, Iran, all the things that we have done. There's no way you are not educated on these things. And then you say, oh, I want to take down the U.S. empire. I want to take down NATO. But then you say some NATO talking points to us. Who else is against Russia besides fucking NATO? The CIA. You calling Putin a thug when he don't even have as much blood on his hands than your president, the man that you voted for. He has more. And if we just want to keep it on race or keep it on black, you know how Tim Black want to do. He don't want to talk about foreign policy because he a fucking idiot.
He couldn't.
He can't because he a fucking idiot. Okay, well let's keep it like this, nigga. Joe Biden got more black blood on his hands than fucking Putin, nigga.
Word.
Russia is in talks and in works with Africa, with all countries throughout Africa. So there is no excuse. You are so smart that you are that dumb.
Yeah, that's why I say he's weak on white supremacy. He said we on the Jimmy Dore plantation, but he voted for one of the most anti-black politicians in our lifetime. He's supporting Albani, who's a vowed white supremacist who called Muslims cockroaches and wanted to dismantle them. He called them brother, but you would never hear him say brother Putin, brother Xi Jinping. You know what I mean? It's class loyalty, man. Like there's certain, like he showed more villain towards RBN than he shows a white supremacist. Isn't that crazy? Let's continue.
Crazy. This is almost over.
Oh,
let's go.
Brother
Let's
P.
go. We got Shabby in this motherfucker. Let's go.
I have a feeling she's about to come.
Let's finish the clip. Get Stabby some time to get ready. We can finish the clip and then we get Stabby in here.
Okay, yeah. It's almost done.
Sister Jill and all these other folk. What's some of the names? Dick and C.J. Whatever it is. Because I don't even read that stuff. I gave up reading that stuff a long time ago. I just hear about it.
You motherfucker didn't follow me today. You just follow me. Yes, you do. That's why you know this shit. That's why you upset. That's some fake ass shit. I don't like to read this. I'm upset with him.
He is so mad. He is so mad.
That is so funny.
Stabby, are you on the mic? Did you have a few words you wanted to say before?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, Stabby.
Okay, I don't know if you could. I gotta tell you, man, I'm just so disappointed. I never thought it would come to this. And sorry, I have my camera off because I'm in my jammies. But I never thought it would come to this. But you know what this really shows us is that at the end of the day, once again, nobody is coming to save you. We can't rely on any politician or candidate to come and save you, which is why we started the RBN chapters, which is why we all have chapters in our respective locations, which is why we do mutual aid, which is why we tried to explain this to people at the end of the day. I'm not saying that you can't vote, but I am saying that shouldn't be your only hope and your only resort. And I see sometimes people put too much stake and energy in electoral politics and just hoping that all I got to do is get this candidate in and that's going to save the day. And at the end of the day, that's not true. And we do a lot of stuff on the local level, like all of us do. And then Rome goes across the country doing like Tour for the Poor. That's why it was kind of hurtful to me when I heard in this conversation, because that's not the whole video. It's a live stream. It was kind of hurtful for me when I heard in the conversation that it was basically saying like, get off the podcast and go actually join an organization and do something with people.
They always gotta lie about us.
I'm kind of tired of people pretending like we don't do organizing, we don't do mutual aid, we do those things. I'm really kind of tired about that. And at this point, it's like, how can you not know? How can you not know? I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't see Rome on Twitter talking about the library or showing a picture about the library or videos or something. So for me, it's just kind of like, what is this really about? So to say that, we're not doing anything and we're just on podcasts, that's false. Like that's a lie. So I don't know. I think some people just got like in their feelings or whatever, but this is really like a disappointment. And I will also say, I have seen Jill go on multiple interviews. She was just on my show recently. She was on Katie Halper's show. She was on, I want to say, yeah, she was on Bad Faith. Anyway, she did a lot of interviews the past like week or so, right? Every time Jill was asked about Cornell leaving the Green Party, Jill Stein never once threw him under the bus. Not once. And this really just like listening to this, like it really make me feel some kind of way. I'm just like, what is happening here?
I like this. Oh, damn it. Wrong comment.
We got JB here too.
JB's here.
Oh,
JB's here
JB.
too, just so everybody knows. But Sabby, I did have a question. Just to like, why do you think? Because it seems completely. Now, I haven't watched the full live stream, and I got some of the details from you, Sabby, because I know you watched a little more than I have. But why did he just out of the blue go after Jill? Like seemed so unneeded. It seemed like it wasn't necessary to even bring up. It seems like punitive. Like he brought it up because he wanted to make sure it was out there on video. But what's your take on that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I asked the same question. I know Jordan Sheraton on Status Quo also asked like the same question. Why did you leave the Green Party? And the statement that you just played, that never came up. It was, because of the bureaucracy. It was because of all the things that you have to do inside the party before you become the nominee. Like those are the things that were mentioned. So to see this and to hear that, basically it sounded like to me, it was more so about Jill and Peter. It's just kind of like, I don't know, man. I do know that, and I did talk to him about this on stream. I do know that Ralph Nader is also involved in this. And this was something that was said, he mentioned in one of the interviews that Ralph Nader did ask him to leave the Green Party the moment he joined the Green Party. And during that discussion, I told Dr. West that Ralph Nader was just recently in an interview, and he said that he would do everything that he could to help Joe Biden win because he didn't want us to get Trump again. And then after that interview, next thing you know, he tells Cornel West to leave the Green Party. So what is really going on?
Our brother JB.
Go ahead, JB.
So I gotta hype my boy JB up because I feel like a lot of niggas don't understand who the fuck we have here right in front of us. We have JB Font, founder of the Orlando RBN chapter. JB Font, who is disabled, who does more than 99% of you motherfuckers out there, despite the fact that he's disabled. Despite the fact that JB is disabled, he still got his own RBN mutual aid chapters. You have PMC academic scum like Dr. Cornell West that says JB Font don't do enough. JB Font disabled, his own mutual aid organization, but Dr. Cornell West says, get off your podcast, JB, and do something. Do something, JB, in Rome. What? And I want to ask you guys this question. Why do you guys think people had to lie about us like this? Why do you think that is? Go ahead, JB.
Good to see everybody here. Of course, Voltron has formed once again.
Let's go.
I want to first say that as somebody that's had a lot of respect in the past for Dr. Cornel West, this recent turn of events have been disappointing, to say the least. And to allude to we are not on the ground doing the work to try to help build community and dual power is not only offensive to someone like myself, but is also an insult to us. It will be in April 1st, it'll be 3 years that RBN has been around. And since then, all of us have dove into and have done more than we ever have for our communities. And part of it, I would like to attribute as influence because of people like Rome, right?
Absolutely.
And so because of that, we're doing the work and we're documenting that work. And it feels lazy to make claims like this without actually going on to our YouTube page, without going on to our Twitter and seeing the work that we're doing, and then making these claims that we're actually not doing work on the ground. Now, as many of you have already saw last night, I did an upload of what I put out on my channel last week about the People's Free Kitchen and what they're doing here in Orlando, right? Why did I share that on RBN? Because I want People's Free Kitchen to get more eyes on them so that people will either donate or volunteer so that they can do more in the community here in Central Florida. It's the same thing with, for instance, what did Sappy do last November, right? What did CJ just do back in December? What did Rome do in Jackson, Mississippi? What did Nick do last December? And also for the schools, right? For school, right? For kids.
Baby.
So the thing is that it's when you're not looking and then you make accusations, it makes you look foolish. I would plead with Dr. West to retract those claims, because the thing is that there are receipts that prove otherwise. And I don't think it will be in his best interest, because the thing is right now you're unfortunately already digging yourself a hole right now, and it is not looking good for you. And also, by the way, as someone who preached door to door for almost 20 years, and Tim Black, yes, I was also raised Jehovah's Witness too. How you doing? The thing about saying that you're a Christian and that you should have love for everybody, and and saying that you have you want to show mercy and kindness to the children of that gentleman. I forget how to pronounce his name.
Fuck them kids.
Here's my thing. Just because you are a Christian does not mean that you have to eulogize someone that does something horrible. Like, for instance, we could just keep our mouth shut when it comes to people like that. And the problem isn't you mentioning them, but is mentioning them in conjunction with political prisoners that are not in the same vein as somebody like him. Now, are we going to say that we pray for the descendants of Hitler? Right? Now, they're probably fine people, right? They probably have nothing to do with their great uncle or whoever he is. But why are we putting them in conjunction with someone maybe like a Nelson Mandela or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. or something like that? Doesn't that sound weird to you? And so just because you're Christian doesn't mean that you have to forego look away, not necessarily look away, but forego what others people have done who are reprehensible. I don't know. Maybe
Brother, I'm an atheist, and I have seen this before. Black Christians do the same thing when I say, hey, why do your God justify slavery? They do the same damn thing. And I want to take it back to Nick's question. Why do they lie? It's because they are hoping that their audience is dumb enough to not even look into it, just to believe. Just like how that post is up of him still praising that fucking Nazi. He was hoping that we was dumb enough to fall for the CIA trap. But we have seen this before. And we said, no, we're not. We walked over it. walked to the side of it, and now he's mad because we didn't fall in the fucking trap. And they have to lie on people like us, because if you are arguing, if you're trying to delegitimize a motherfucker, tear a nigga down, you're not gonna say, "Oh yeah, I love what you do on the ground. I love all the people that you feed. I love all this and I love all that." You know,
Right.
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna acknowledge you. Oh, CJ, you know, like you ain't been in this nigga show 5, 6, 7 times. You know, like, yeah. Downplay that nigga. And this is the it's always been the game plan. This is CIA handbook, man. And there was nothing has changed.
Yeah, this last comment, I know we can get some super chats. I know CJ probably got here soon. But there's been I explained this many times. There was a very clear, coordinated effort to erase the activism that we have done. My question to you guys, when you guys hear my criticism of Dr. Cornel West, name one thing I said about Dr. Cornel West that was a lie. When have I ever criticized something that he did not say? No, I criticize him for him praising a white supremacist. We criticize him for leaving the Green Party. These are things that he has done undisputably. You can agree or disagree with our criticism all you want. But you guys know this. The people who go after us, they always have to lie. And when they have to lie, I'm like, I get excited because I'm like, that's all you have then. You don't have a legitimate response to our criticism of you being weak on white supremacy, so you have to lie about us. It's the same thing Black Power Media did. Those old Negroes was upset because people was watching us more than them, despite the fact that they had degrees, so they had to lie about us. They didn't have a substantive criticism of us. That is what we explained in our breakdown video. They lied and said we don't do activism. So fam, I'm asking everyone who's watching this stream, why are they lying about us? If they was like Rome, they're like, fuck Nick, he's a communist. You know what I mean? Fuck Rome, he's a communist. That's a legitimate criticism, whether we think it's silly or not.
Yeah.
Why is RB out there saying we should do mutual aid instead of electoral politics? That's a criticism whether we believe it's silly or not. You notice they never do that. You notice that the PLC class, like Dr. Cornel West, they always have to rely about lying about our activism. And I just want to ask you guys, why you think that is?
Because their audience is dumb. And
it's not even just the activism part. I get tired of the lies about we don't talk about reparations. Like I've had on Dr. Sandy Darity, I've had on Marcel Dixon, I've had on Camilla, who's from the California Reparations Task Force. I had on actually a group of people from Roxbury to talk about reparations. I just had on, or we don't talk about Black issues. I just had on Abdul, one of the Black principals that has been fired from Chicago Public Schools. And that is a problem that's happening in Chicago where they are firing Black male principals. So I just talked about reparations today when I was talking about the discussion between Bree and Dean Phillips, how Dean tried to play himself as a victim as if he's more oppressed than a Black woman. So I talked about all those things. And the thing that kills me is when they make these comments and say, we don't talk about reparations, we don't talk about Black issues. Again, those are blatant lies. So again, like Nick said, you got to ask that question. Why are they making up those stories? Why are they lying about those things?
It's not that we don't talk about Black issues or Black things. Is that that's just not our whole thing. See, they have made it their whole thing, and now they have put a ceiling over them. And now they see us, we can reach people from China, Russia, like we are international, especially how powerful we are with foreign policy. And they're like, oh, well, you got a whole bunch of white people. How do we even know that? How do we even know that? Because it's a very diverse chat. It's a very diverse following. But they have to they have to demonize you, say, look, all these white people listening to you. But then again, you make yourself look like an ass, because if we can sit here and have a majority white audience and have them agreeing with reparations,
what's
the fucking problem here?
Do you guys have any idea? Me and Sabby was talking about this before. Do you guys have any idea how many white people told me and Sabby that we changed our mind about reparations? You know what I mean? They say, "Oh, the lazy criticism of Black Power media laid on us, where they say, "Oh, they got a white audience." For one, you can't even prove that. But even if that is true, you know how many white people you got to support reparations? That's a positive. Who are they flipping on these issues? They aren't flipping nobody. I got average like conservative redneck people saying, "Oh man, I never heard like this the explanation of Marxism. I didn't know that Black Panther was a Marxist organization. I learned that on your stream. I learned about mutual aid on your stream. I learned about the reparation argument on your stream." We are reaching people, and it makes them upset. Why would it make them upset that we are reaching them?
And it's not even and not even just that, but the other thing too about changing people's opinions. There was a guy who came on to call in, I think this was about a week ago, white guy from Alaska, and he said, "You changed my mind about reparations." He said, "I didn't agree with it at first." He said, "But it's been your commentary that actually got me to realize, no, Black people are owed reparations." So why don't they talk about that, Nick?
Never.
Why don't they, when people want to talk about what RBN is saying or whatever, why don't you hear them say those talking points? Why don't they ever talk about the mutual aid that RBN is doing?
I just wanted to add another point here when we talk about, nobody talks about Black issues. How many people have been discussing about police shootings outside of the JB show on RBN?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because if I throw out some names out there, then you'll be like, well, I don't know who that is. But I covered a lot of it. So the thing is like, if you go down, like just go in the playlist tab and go to the JB show. It's way down there, but go ahead and look at what I covered. And the thing is that we do cover a lot of these issues. The thing is that you have to look for them. But they're there.
They're looking for a thumbnail. They're looking to see them on a thumbnail. Like, oh, the niggas got me on a thumbnail this week.
But what it is, and I'm gonna say this, and then I gotta get going. What it is that it speaks to what we said to Black Power Media in the beginning when we first got here. We said there's groups that are good in media space, then there's groups and they're bad in person. They don't do any in-person stuff. Then there's groups that's great in person and they're terrible online. I said RBN is going to be the first where we're good on both. They don't like that. This is why they magically don't see stuff, because we have the time to talk about foreign policy, to talk about substance, and also clown you. We have the time to do that. We have the people. We have the versatility to do that. So what they really mean is that they want us to spend all our time so that our time won't be spent on critiquing their terrible strategy, their terrible position. They want, go do some more work in that area. Go do some more work over there in that area so you can stop talking about me. This is what this really is, because they know we cover everything. They know we say all the time, you have to look at all of our channels together, because JB covers stuff that we don't, we sometimes intentionally, we don't want to overlap stuff. Yes. We don't want to overdo stuff. You want to, if it's a hot topic, of course, everybody going to touch it. But it's stuff, it's like, okay, I literally check. JB covered a shooting. Oh, okay, I'm not going to cover the shooting then, because he covered it. You have to watch all of our channels. And if it's not on the main channel, I noticed they'll be like, well, you guys don't do that. You guys don't do that. I'm just like, what? Did you see JB's theory? Did you see this? Did you see Sabby out in Boston doing housing? Like, it's like you have to watch all of us together in order to get the full story. But I think they know that. Thanks for everybody.
JB fucking fatigued. And Dr. West talking about all these niggas.
Yeah, let me get out of here though. Let me get out of here. Everybody, thanks for everybody joining. Did not plan this, and it ended up being a great stream. No bickering, where we with substance broke the shit down, and that's what Ajamu said they hate about us. Is that we have the substance, we have the receipts. I'm gonna have the little funny little name for you. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna call you Urkel, but then we're gonna have receipt 1, 2, 3, 4. Example 1, 2, 3. You get what I'm saying? And it's like an overload. It's no way they found to like get at us yet. And that is
just
really
One other thing I was going to add about the foreign policy, you know, if you want to know where the money is for reparations, if you want to know where the money is for that could be used to fix and build up Black communities, your money's going overseas.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
take back the $3.8 billion that we give Israel every year. You can contribute that towards some type of reparations in this country. You take back the money that is a part of the military industrial complex, the defense budget that we have in this country. There's your reparations. So you have to make the connection to foreign policy and domestic policy. Even MLK talked about this long time ago. So to just say, don't talk about foreign policy, just talk about Black issues and what's happening here. The reason why we have a lot of the problems that we have here is because our money is going somewhere else.
And our police are being trained by IOF, IDF soldiers. So they go over there, they use those practices, those weapons, those gases, and they learn how to use them against people and find out that they are effective. And they bring them over here and use the same tactics. How can we just ignore foreign policy when it literally goes hand in hand with our lives and theirs? Our struggles are connected because we are all under the fucking iron fist of the empire. You cannot ignore. It's stupid, and you're doing yourself and your people a disservice, because when it comes for you to actually know these things, when it's time for when the time comes for you to actually lead, you're not gonna know what the fuck to do, who to talk to, how to move, who's the leader, who's the freedom fighters. You're not gonna know.
Yeah, and if they can give $3.8 billion to Israel, sit back and think about this for a second, guys. My city alone gives $10 million a year to Israel. We got people here struggling in Boston. $3.8 billion a year sent to Israel. They don't give that kind of money to descendants of slavery in this country. And for the people who tell me that the social programs from the government actually are helping out Black people, there's your benefit or whatever, the majority of people on welfare are white.
And let me address this, Nolan. Please stop spamming. He said you should only pay back reparations to people who directly suffer under. That's every Black person. Because not only did we go through slavery, we had the Jim Crow era. We had all types of eras that fucked us up. Do you not understand what that do to a man's psyche? What that do to a person's psyche born into, like, stop it. Stop.
Hang on. I have a homework assignment for you, Nolan. I want you to look up Dr. Joy DeGrew's post-traumatic slave syndrome lecture. It's about an hour and a half if you have time, and I want you to listen to that. And she actually talks about how the mitochondria DNA, how the trauma is passed down through the mitochondria DNA to all of us Black people who have suffered. And on top of it, you also want to talk about suffering, talk about how the Jewish people during the Holocaust how they have actually inherited suffering down the line through them. If it can happen to Jewish people, that means it can happen to us.
And
so
reparations,
we are literally still being affected by it down to this day. By the way, I am the first among me and my cousins to be born in this country with full rights as a human being. And we're still being discriminated against. Let's not talk about what's going on in Louisiana, where we have still legalized slavery, and most of the people who are there that are the slaves that are picking cotton right now in 2024 in Louisiana, in Angola, those are Black people. So when it comes to reparations, it is a debt that is owed, and we're still being enslaved even now down to this day.
And you know what? People try to keep it. People try to keep it on slavery to keep it a hot topic to make people run away from the conversation. It's not just about slavery. It's about the Jim Crow era. It's about the crack epidemic. The CIA putting drugs in our neighborhoods. The prison industrial complex. This is levels to this shit, man. It's levels to this shit. And every Black person, whether they have made it or not, they have suffered, and they are owed. I don't give a damn if they are a millionaire or a billionaire, whatever. Get what you are owed, because your people suffered. If your people suffered, it's a good chance, a great chance that you suffered, that you came up. My grandmother was a slave from Mississippi. I'm only 32. So can y'all stop acting like this shit was 200 years ago?
Yeah, it was just around the corner. And I'm gonna show you guys this. And you can go to redlining, you can go to credit fraud, the Wall Street defrauding us. But it's the state and the police state that have stolen our wealth. And despite lies from deeply unserious morons like Tim Black and Dr. Cornel West, no one talk about Black issues more than us. Like, for example, I talk about how Black wealth is stolen from us because of the fact that we suffer the most medical debt in this country. You guys know that's a Black issue. We take Black issues, but we relate it to class because class and race is intertwined. But because their simple minds can't understand that, they don't see us as talking about Black issues. Because savvy Romans, JB, I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
I wrote an article about this. In my Substack, you can see an article I wrote about how the police state stole our wealth. Why do you guys think that Black and white racial income inequality is worse right now than it was during the height of the civil rights era? I thought things changed. No, what they did, they stick the police state and they used the police state to steal our wealth. There were studies that show, and this is consistent across multiple states, that civil asset forfeiture impacts Black people around 65%. 65% of all civil asset cases are Black people. You have millions that are stolen. This is just one state, guys. One state. 17 million stolen in one state in South Carolina, a state where we are already poor. They are stealing $17 million for civil asset forfeiture without any way for us to get that money back. And this has been going on for decades. And y'all talking about slavery?
No,
you have any idea how much money just the police state alone has taken from us? And this is the kind of thing that we explain. I'll pass it right to you, Sabby, don't worry. This is the kind of stuff we explain that get white people on board with our argument on reparations. You guys just use liberal identity politics, bullshit, weak arguments. I hear you guys talk about this shit, and you guys sound weak. I flip people on this because I use hardcore class analysis to explain why capitalism had destroyed the Black class. Meanwhile, you guys are talking about race versus class. It's all the above. This is why we deserve reparations. But Sabby, I know you want to chime in. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the same thing with healthcare. This is another thing I've talked about multiple times. The reason why we don't have universal healthcare in this country is because they didn't want Black people to have healthcare. And in doing that, what they did not realize at the time is that that actually ended up hurting poor and working class white people too. So then comes along affirmative action. You know who benefits the most from affirmative action? White women, not Black people.
I want to bring this up too, because tomorrow I will be actually talking about the latest developments on the Henrietta Lacks case. And I know, Sabby, you talked about Henrietta Lacks before. And so a lot of people will be like, who in the world is Henrietta Lacks? Well, tune into my show tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that too. Because the thing is like, when it comes to all the medical developments that have been happening within the last 60, 70 years, you have a Black woman to thank. So we're going to talk about that. Happy Black History Month, by the way.
Let's get some super chats. Any last thoughts from you guys before we move on to super chat? JB, we can. How about I read 5 and you read 5? You want to do it that way? We got quite a bit on. Let's read a few.
I can read them if you want. It's no problem. Or
yeah, I read the first 5 and I'll pass it to you. Then for the $5 chima, Black Power Media is the type that will blame Black immigrants for conditions of Black America. I haven't followed their channel, so I won't say anything about what they cover. But they are the type of channel that lie about a Black organization that engages in mutual aid, and they're the type of channel that does the bidding of the liberal class that want to see Black Power Media and RBN fight. RBN, we had the revolutionary discipline not to fall for it. We see the base, and we like, nah, let's not do that because liberals want to see Black Power Media and RBN fight. You want to know who took the bait though? Because they didn't have revolutionary discipline. Black Power Media. So they started repeating lies that we engage in mutual aid and many others because that's who they are. But let's move on. Then for $10, Edward, thank you for all the good work you do. It's sad to see West morph into yet another establishment politician. Absolutely. That's why the people know what we do, man. These PMCs can lie about the activism that we do all day. They can demonize citizen journalism all they want. Because you guys realize that's what Dr. Cornel West is doing Oh, they're sitting there with their podcast. Do you guys know how fucking important this is? To have citizen journalists that fucking dismantle their talking points? I think there should be more. We started RBN because there wasn't enough black people in media, and Dr. Cornel West wants to fucking shoot that aside as some sort of grifter project. We need more black people in media. He wanted to demonize it. We need more people exposed in the Ukraine war. We need more black people in media to talk about what's going on in the Congo. Once again, JB does great work on that as well.
Yeah.
But do you see how easy Dr. Cornel West demonized that? That's elitism. And it was shocking to see. Oh, they just behind it. Let's say we don't engage in activism, which we do. Even if we don't, we're still providing valuable education, and we are imploring people to hit the streets. We're motivating people to unlock their intellectual ability to think, critically think. That's important. But these guys see how they demonize that? It's so fucking sad. Feel free to interrupt me anytime, guys, but we got quite a few of these. Thank you, Colin. This is my friend Colin. Thank for 499. The fact that Savvy commented on West's tweet should have been enough for West to pause and reflect, but he had to double down. He's like, don't you guys know I'm a fucking doctor? I'm Dr. fucking Cornell West.
I was about to say that.
Who the fuck you think you are telling me, Savvy? Who the fuck you think you are? You fucking workers. Who the fuck you think you are? Telling me some shit, nigga. I'm Dr. Cornell West. Dr. Cornell West, you think you can tell me some shit? That's the ego. You know what I mean? That's the ego. Let's continue. JB, I'll pass to you for a few super chats after this because I don't want to be the only one ranting here. Then for the 199 Sam, he concerned for Janine Anez arrest. Anez, you guys know I'm a bad linguist. For Bolivia. Well said. I'll read this one and I'll pass to you for a few, JB. Thanks for $2. Mosaic. Firestream, CJ, you have been missed. Absolutely. You are underrated. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. CJ was sick last week. We glad to have him back. I'll read this one. I'll pass to you, JB. I don't think this is not the real Jimmy Dorker. You can see the icon if it was. But thank you for the 1999 anyway. It's time to stand up for workers. The time to stand up for workers came during COVID, but there was a price to pay for doing so, and West was not willing to pay that price. Yeah. And it's complicit in the destruction of 41% of Black-owned businesses. That was such a blind spot. Like, and that's something I talked to him about. Like, I wasn't even that engaged in the COVID thing, but the mandates to me was an obvious affront to workers. You had even people who are not like hardcore Marxists, like Dr. Wolf, Richard Wolf. Even he's playing like mandates. If you're a socialist or if you're against the working class, you don't allow capitalists to dictate what you do with your body. You don't allow them to put advanced authoritarian policies upon the workers. That's a left analysis that many people didn't make. I asked Howie Hawkins about it. He didn't make it. Dr. Cornel West was trying about it. Why? That's what I said earlier. They are stuck in 2015 and they haven't advanced their analysis. But anyway, JB, I'll pass to you. You can read a few.
Okay. Thank you to Janice Anderson. Meanwhile, he says nothing about Assange or Lyra. Thank you so very much for that.
So that's actually not true.
I was about to say.
He actually
he did say stuff about Assange.
Yeah, he said
he went to go see Julian Assange.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like I said, I can devastate Dr. Cornel West with my critiques without ever lying about him. I said I'm not ever one lie. I'm not saying Janice lied. She probably just didn't know, but I don't even have attacked his character. Like it just weakness on white supremacy. But let's continue, JB.
Yeah. So I think these guys showed this earlier, but Kyle Jones says Cornell ran to the wolf pack. Thank you very much for that. I'm not sure if you guys read this before, but Justin says Cornell seems to be lashing out because of the flack he's taking over the pro Nalvani tweet. This is all so cringe. Time to drop out Cornell.
Yes,
so thank
it
you so
is.
much for that.
That's what this is about too. Like that's the funny thing. That's the hill he decided to die on. After all the other criticism, they like, how dare you criticize me for praising a CIA cutout Nazi? Like, really, bro? This is the hill you want to die on. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I'm not drunk. What he said, people telling me I should delete the tweet. Nigga, listen to them. You have a fucking campaign for a reason.
No, that's not good. Chima says, Brother Biden, Brother Navalny, Brother Reagan, what are you going to say next? Brother Hitler, Brother Epstein.
See, this is the thing, man. I explained this when he was on my show. I wouldn't be upset if he was consistent. Like, he says brother Biden, but he was never say brother Putin. That's what I said on our show. And then when I mentioned that to him, he was like, oh, that's a great point. Remember? All the times he was on our show and he had a chance to object to us, but he couldn't? He's like, I'll pray on that one, man. I pray on that one. Oh, you got a good point there, brother. And then he leaves and he goes to fucking Uncle Tim Black to cry like a Karen. You had your chance, brother. That's one of the criticisms I had of him, and I said to his face, if you're gonna call someone brother, okay, that's your ideology, that's fine. You better call everyone brother. Because what he does, he takes the CIA direction. If the CIA don't like him, they're not a brother.
Mhm.
You're not gonna say brother Putin. You're gonna say brother Navalny, though. You're not gonna say brother Xi Jinping. You're gonna say brother Zelensky. That's the problem. He's not gonna say brother Trump. You're gonna say brother Obama and brother Biden. I'd rather you say brother everyone or brother nobody. You know what I mean? That's where I was at. But sorry, feel free to continue, JB.
This is Eleazar says, clown show Dr. Cornell from Uptown Manhattan. I'm just a Jasmine. Okay, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me see. Close in Town says, loving it, guys. Thank you so very much. Niz Michael Smith says, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Janet says, loyalty is earned, never assumed or expected. Had to be loyal to a hot mess whose self-sabotage his own campaign is in the interest of the establishment. Thank you very much for that. Thank you so very much for All One Sane becoming a YouTube member. Thank you so very much for that. Thomas comes in and says, why did you guys block me? I have no idea who you are, and I have no idea you were blocked. But
I don't know what's your Twitter name, because people say this type of shit. Then when I look up their Twitter pages, and like, you know, some of y'all just be hate following. So I ain't gonna lie, some of y'all deserve it. But what's your Twitter name? Maybe you deserved it.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Jimmy Dore says,
go ahead, JB. Go ahead.
Sorry. Jimmy Dore says, Cornell has lived in an ivory tower for most of his life. He has beclowned himself so much that he has quickly become an obscure figure in American politics and culture. His narcissism is on full display.
Yeah, by the way, they're not the real Jimmy. The real Jimmy has
Of course. But one of the things I do want to say is just because somebody is PMC doesn't mean that they are automatically going to be against us. But there is a huge temptation for a lot of PMC to constantly go up against the rest of us as the proletariat, as the working class. And unfortunately, with a lot of academics, they tend to have a lot of hubris, and they do not want to listen to those of us who are deemed lower on the hierarchy. And so, unfortunately, you know, there are some that would do that. However, there are many PMCs in the past who have proven to be class traders and have teamed up with us. People even like, you know, Fidel Castro was PMC. Che Guevara was PMC. So, you know, that's the thing. So, unfortunately, you know, this move by Cornel West is deeply disappointing and is become more of a statistic of PMCs than anything else. And it's sad to see.
I would also add that you can be, you know, rich and not be PMC. And it's not uncommon for rich people to kind of do that same thing. Like, some people are rich not because they're PMC, they're a part of a professional managerial class, or they have that title. Some people are rich because they inherited that money.
Yeah. Yeah. And some are, it's not often, but some will try to, you know, shoot some money towards the right
class
cause.
traders. Yeah, you can definitely find some class traders.
Yeah. Eric says, a wise man who shall remain unnamed once and many times said in regards to Dr. West, deeply unserious. Love y'all. Okay. Sam says there's a huge difference between being a regular person with bad politics, social views, and being the person running a country's Nazi party.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, he's a Nazi, right? But he's also a traitor to his people, man. Like, whether you agree with Putin or not, you as American, that's not your business. Putin has a approval rating around 80%. percent plus. If you want to have a revolution against Putin, you wage a revolution with the will of the people, the dictatorship, the proletariat. You don't sell your people out to a hostile intelligence agency. That's why the Vietnamese, they was destined to lose. I told you I've been reading a lot about this, because once they realized that the leadership in South Vietnam was selling out their people to the United States, a lot of them gave up arms. They disagree with the Communist Party, but they said we'd rather have someone in government that we disagree with instead of people that siding with traitors against us. If you can't have a revolution without the help of a hostile foreign government, then there's no revolution there. That's another key reason why what Dr. Cornel West did is so horrible, praising Navalny, because he's literally praising the CIA tactics and cutout. Like there's the white supremacy angle, and then there's the CIA angle. He doesn't even realize that. You're legitimizing the tactics of the CIA by praising Navalny. We need to, not only should he be demonized in this country, but worldwide as a traitor. Like we're not gonna throw a revolution on behalf of the UK, Rome. Like, you know what I mean? When the Labour Party start funding us and we start doing their bidding, that's not how this shit works, bro. You gotta put in the work. He praising that guy. Anyways, go ahead.
Not only that too, but Nick, you know what else I noticed? It seems like a lot of older people and particularly older Black people, they don't seem to have a problem with these intelligence agencies and the police the same way that we do.
Yeah.
Because if you talk to, especially like if I talk to people at my mom's church, a lot of older Black people, they don't have the same criticism of the police. They were a lot of the ones that were against the defund the police movement. If you remember, me, you, and Garland Nixon had this conversation a while back about the slogan and we can't get rid of cops and that kind of thing. So I think that's a big part of it too, is like they don't seem to look at, like some of them look at like the FBI and the CIA and they feel like they're doing, good work. RFK is also an example of this, because RFK made that statement when he first announced his campaign and said there are some good people in the CIA. Yes, and he got a former one managing his campaign. So they don't seem to have the same opinion of those agencies and the police the way that we do.
And I remember getting into it with my boy father about this. I was like, your generation is the generation who get a cookie and sold us out. You told niggas like me to stay off your line. You didn't even want me around your block, your kids, whatever it may be. Y'all sold us out. And then like Detroit is a great example of this, and when the capitalists took everything that they had brought in, y'all got fucked too, and it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, and also let's not forget that it was RFK Jr. who also said to Black journalists that he was for ending qualified immunity, and then when pressed on it by a white journalist, he reversed completely and said that he wasn't for ending qualified immunity. I also covered that on RBN as well. But yeah. Let's continue. Christian says, Black power, y'all. The white man owes the Black man 300 years of unpaid labor. Coming from me, the proud son of an Afro-Colombian. Cut those checks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. I mean, can we talk about how, Spain owes y'all reparations too? I mean, it's true. Just coming in here. Blard says someone gifted me a membership, paying it for. Oh, thank you so very much. By the way, I love the picture. That is from Super Mario World, if anybody is a gamer. So if anybody remembers that. Tima says it was gifted a Revolutionary Blackout membership. Thank you so very much for that as well. Let me see. Blarg was gifted a Revolutionary Blackout membership. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much to James Starks for the super sticker. 007 Angelo says West must think Reagan's freedom fighter for Iran Contra, giving guns to Contras. Now that's some warp logic. Wow.
There's literally no explanation for that. a mind-blowing tweet, fam.
You guys
And
know Ronald Reagan called black people monkeys, and it was recorded on tape. It was released a couple of years ago. That's what he really thought about black people. You know, Ronald Reagan started the war on drugs. And you know why he did that? Because he was trying to remove the black men from the home.
Mhm.
Like this is not someone that we should give shout out to.
And how do you say? And the reason I bring this up because he said they got a lot of work to do. Something like how do you phrase it? Like they got a lot of soul search, something to do. He was talking about how we got a lot of work to do, right? Like, bro, you was like what 50 when you made that tweet? Like, grown ass man praising Reagan in the year 2011. Before you criticize us, how about you get basic shit right, like about Ronald Reagan or voting for Biden before you start attacking us for one? I mean,
That's
you're
what
the
shit-
And Ronald Reagan is the one that signed the Reparations Act for Japanese Americans to receive it. Japanese Americans that were part of the internment camps in the United States. That was signed by Ronald Reagan. You ain't see him sign no reparations for us though.
No.
Brother
Yeah.
Reagan. Brother Reagan.
Yep. So let's go to the next one. Thank you so much. Cooper gifted 5 Revolutionary Blackout memberships. Cooper, you are a real one. Thank you so very much for that. Old Crow says, just sending some love to RBN. Keep dropping this heat. Yep, it is hot.
Yeah.
I'm cooking with grease. James Star. Oh yeah, all right. Thank you for that. Thank you so very much. Just making sure that I get all the super chats and super stickers that I can get my eyes on. I think there's another one that we just got. Kima says, connect with Africa and Caribbean, one black family. Yes. Thank you so very much for that. Wait. Why is this? Sorry. This is from Virtuoso. Says, someday Haiti will drop the reverse card on France and get reparations. I hope so. I really hope so.
Man.
Yeah.
You guys realize what the U.S. government actually did to Haiti? You guys know that Woodrow Wilson sent in the U.S. Marines to occupy parts of Haiti. You know, they took money they seized their banks, they seized their retail stores, like everything. That's part of the reason why Haiti is so broke, because of Woodrow Wilson. And then for Haiti to have to pay reparations to France.
Yeah, that's another
That's
topic that we
so.
cover a lot on RBN is Haiti. How can you call yourself pro-black if you're not covering Haiti and Cuba? And there are many channels, like when have Tim Black and when are the other quote-unquote pro-black channels covering this stuff? They don't. RBN, we cover Haiti and Cuba extensively. But let's continue.
Yeah. And Cuba's it has a huge black population.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of Cubans are black. Larez coming in saying, excellent point with Cornel West won't say Brother Putin or call Biden a fascist. He's such an embarrassment, but a disappointment, potential wasted. Love y'all work. Thank you so much for that.
See, people
Also, what happened to that money? What happened to all that money the Red Cross supposedly raised for Haiti? And Haitians said they never saw that money. They said they ended up building just 2 houses. What they do with all that money? $500 million?
And didn't the Clinton Foundation have something to do with Haiti?
Yep. So when people fuss at me and say, why are migrants coming here? Honestly, if your country was destroyed like that too, you'd be trying to leave too.
Yes, Sabi.
If your country destroyed my country, I'm coming here. If you took my shit, I'm moving into your house.
I want it all.
What you talking about?
There's a super chat from Due Dissidents. The guys at Due Dissidents, good to see you. Says Cornell sells 45-minute lectures at Princeton for $50,000 a semester, but podcasting for taking super chats.
I don't know. Hey, a semester, shit.
I don't know about the actual facts on $50,000 per semester for 45-minute lectures, but I mean, if that's true, then that would be very damning.
These motherfuckers would praise a white supremacist Nazi like Navalny so they don't piss off their social circle, but they call us grifters.
Oh,
like, you guys realize that I came out and praised Tomas. Like, that is not what a grifter would do. Like I have to supporting reparations when it's deeply unpopular among white America where all the money is at is not what a grifter would do. A grifter will not tell you to reject the two-party duopoly where all the money is at. A grifter will tell you to vote for Joe Biden. That's what a grifter would do because they want to keep the money flowing.
Yeah.
If you guys don't want to use that language, but go ahead, Sabby, because
a grifter is Candace Owens.
yeah.
How you gonna say the U.S. ain't a racist country and you sued your school district and won over $32,000? You sued them for racial discrimination.
If we were grifters, we would do that. Like me and Ron, we joked about it before. You guys know how then RB we have 1 million subscribers, and we was like, man, I think we should support Trump, fam.
Man.
Trump has the black. You know, me and white people we following RB, and if we did that, we'd be the Hodge twins. The Hodge twins is rolling in though, fam. You guys know what that is? They are so rich. That one dude, Terrence, that one black dude, he's so fucking rich. Candace also. If we was grifters, that's what we would do. We wouldn't be post-duopolists. Dr. Cornel West and everyone else, I am begging you to think. Who grifts as a revolutionary? That's not where the money's at.
Not where the money.
Like,
No.
you fucking idiots don't even realize that.
If we were grifting, we would have done what David Packman did.
We would do it with Crystal Cow. All these people did with Marianne Williamson. We would pretend that Marianne Williamson had a chance. We would have her on multiple times on our show. Like, hey, thank you for coming on, Marianne Williamson. Hey, you got a new book coming out. How you like this is what we do. We was grifters. Like people don't even think. They just lash out against black radicals because people can't handle critiques to their left.
It's always funny to me though, Nick, because people think that we make a lot of money. Do they not realize there's 5 of us? Have they looked at our subscriber count? How much money do they think we're actually making?
Like, we don't make hardly anything. Like, and I said this to Sabby yesterday. RBN really is a labor of love because we don't make much at all. Like, and try to divide all that between 5 people.
I mean, we got 30-some thousand fucking subscribers. What they what they thinking? All 30,000 motherfuckers watching the channel at the same time, giving money? Like, no.
We're broke, man. Funny. All right. Rymulac says, like,
I was just down 125 for my damn man.
Like Bernie, he didn't want to take on the military industrial complex in, I don't know what the IMAC is, but I think it's something with the military, but probably has something to do with intelligence. But let me go.
Yep, we divided.
Oh man, oh my god.
Well, go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead, continue, JB. Like people, I just want people to think. Just think, like you guys see how much we made on our Patreon, right? Like it's just like displayed. Divide that up by 6 people and see how much is left to fuck over.
In our Patreon, I think it's public, so you guys can see how much we get. Like,
divide look up what the revenue we make on YouTube and Patreon. Divide that by 6, and then see how much we make. You got to know that's poverty level. Let's continue.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this question because I think it's important that to. Oh, hang on. There's a couple of super chats that I want to make sure I get to. Hang on. This one from Jesse says, did y'all listen to Bree's podcast that came out today? Seemed like a good analysis from her guest Studebaker, but curious if you have a take. I did not get to see it. So unfortunately, I don't have any commentary on that one for you, but
I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Okay. If Sabby hasn't got a chance to see it, then I don't think anybody got a chance to see it because Sabby's usually the first one. There's another one that I actually want to answer. Let me make sure I get to it. There's a lot of comments here. Damn, how did CJ do this? With a wish and a prayer. Hema says, who do working? I guess why do working class white folks love Reagan so much? I have an answer.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
Because the government is demonized so much that, and then when people, especially a lot of white people, see taxes taken out, they feel like, oh my God, this is money going to undeserved people, aka Black people, aka disabled people, and what have you. That it's like, no, you're taking money out of my pocket, right? That's the thought. And without realizing that, number one, government is like a hammer. You can use it to build or you can use it to destroy. And when you have corporations that actually own the government, then of course they're using it to destroy workers and people. And so white people are constantly being told, oh, these are the problems. They're the reason why you have to pay all these taxes, right? Because there's some, and maybe I'm wrong. White people, please correct me in the chat. But for some reason, some white people in their mind think, well, as long as we get to solve this immigration issue, then I won't have as much taxes taken out of my money because then it won't have to go to these people, right? If we can get people off welfare, I won't have to pay as much taxes, right? Meanwhile, you still have to pay for school. You're still paying billions of dollars to the military. A lot of your money's still going to Israel and Ukraine. And on top of it, that military and all that's going on back there that the government is doing is actually destabilizing nations in the global south and then causing you to have more taxes taken out. Meanwhile, all those money and those subsidies are actually given to the billionaires who are actually taking the money out of your pocket.
If you're not subscribed to JV channel, what are you doing? What are you doing? I told you guys, this boy JV been reading theory, like, doing what a lot of people in the media space refuse to do. He studied history, studied theory. No one has a more substantive channel than JV. If you're not following JV, you're missing a big part of what RBN's about.
No. You give me way too much credit, Nick. Thank you, though.
Well, you guys know my job is to be the hype man of RBN, bro. JV is a fucking goat, fam. Like, you guys need to subscribe to the channel. Where are we? We can get back to the chat. You need me to take over? Are you good? You good? Or you
Yeah. Janice says Red Cross is a religious org, and as such, is much less accountable than other 501c orgs. In fact, from one thing I heard about Red Cross is that they actually charge homeless people to stay in their shelters. Yeah, I just found that out. Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly. So, yeah.
Don't ever donate to the Red Cross. Don't ever donate. I covered that a long. It was like a long time ago. It was like when we talking about Haiti. Don't ever donate to the Red Cross. But let's continue.
Haiti, Katrina.
Yep. Chima says gifted 1 Revolutionary Blackout membership. Thank you so very much. Did I cover that? I hope so already. Let me see. Mark says, what keeps you guys real is Marx's analysis of capitalist and empire-ish. We are seeing the fall of Roman Empire. Thank you all. Thank you so very much for that.
We're just trying to get y'all prepared. We're just trying to educate the people to get y'all prepared as much as possible. So y'all motherfuckers been living so privileged compared to the other parts of the world that y'all don't think that y'all can actually live like that one day. Like, I know people that don't think that America will ever get bombed, and that's it's not the truth, It's not the truth. You guys will not stay protected forever.
These motherfuckers about to get humbled, bro. They already getting humbled by the Houthis. Because this is my prediction. I don't want it to happen, guys, but it's gonna happen. We can't stop the Iran war. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
United States about to get their ass beat. This war with China, it seems like we can't stop it. United States about to get humbled, bro. It's about to happen. So let's continue.
We know NATO is a paper tiger. They are getting their asses beat by Russia collectively. Like, you guys are putting billions of dollars from every country that you can fucking beg to fight one motherfucking country whose economy is in shambles. Come on, man. You're getting your ass kicked.
They just shot down a $60 million drone with a $4,000 rocket. They doing that left and right. They keep posting these W's. Houthis are beating their ass already. The Viet Cong kicked our ass. We lost in Afghanistan. We don't do anything but slaughter people. Yeah. The IDF is getting their ass beat by the Hamas right now. Yeah. All the IDF terrorists are being dragged out of fucking Gaza in caskets. That's why they hide in tanks and they snipe children with one bullet to a skull because they're losing to a monster on the battlefield. We don't win. People, I cannot wait till people understand this. We have a bunch of fucking people who only join the army because they want to go to college, Rome. That's not a fucking warrior. You guys are going up against people who are fighting for their sovereignty. People whose families been bombed, bro. You can't defeat Iran. You can't defeat the Houthis. You guys are not going to defeat China. But go ahead, JB. This is a random tangent. Go ahead. Random.
Well, no, because it reminds me, anybody ever seen Star Wars Return of the Jedi would know that who handed the stormtroopers their asses on the Forest Moon of Endor? Wasn't it not the Ewoks? And what did the Ewoks use? They used sticks, rocks. You know, they're a bunch of teddy bear dudes just whooping, you know, the imperialist ass. So, I mean, that's
yeah. Why you guys think I'm going so hard against soldiers and their parents? I'm warning you guys. At this point, I'm telling you guys how this shit's gonna happen right now. We don't have enough influence. They're gonna do this war with China. They're gonna do this war with Iran, and a ton of U.S. soldiers are gonna die based on what I am seeing right now. And if you send your child out to war, and if you're willing to be a soldier, you got what's coming to you. And I heard a lot of people feeling when I said this, but you deserve anything what's coming to you because it's so obvious what the empire is gonna do, guys. I got anxiety because they are going with this Iran war. This China war is about to fucking happen. But anyway, let's continue.
Okay. So thank you so much for the generous super sticker, Louise, for that. Much appreciated. Let me see. Make sure Black Dysfunction coming in with another super sticker. Thank you so very much. You guys are so giving and so generous. I appreciate it very much from all of you. And did you just gift another one, Chima? Thank you. Thank you very much.
I better get that motherfucker.
Because I'm like, I saw this before. Okay. I'm like, I had dialysis today, but I know my brain's kind of working at least somewhat reasonably. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I think that's it. I think we're done with the super chats and the super stickers.
Bro, random late night RBN live. Let's go. I think it was very therapeutic for us. This is a very therapeutic live stream for us.
Oh, good. Meng said, "Your mama's a Houthi."
Oh, that's a reference to what I said. They're really the Ansar Allah, but bro, Houthi is a fucking great name, bro.
Hold up, wait. This super chat gives me Rome vibes.
Now I think that's why they like using it because it sounds like a good insult.
Yeah, it sounds like an insult that Rome was. Your mama's a Houthi.
Your mama a Houthi. Man.
Those fucking Houthis. That's why white people hate them. They don't know what the fuck a Houthi is. It's like the Houthis over there do something. The Houthis.
The Houthis are the homies. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh, man. But, okay, man. When all this shit is over, though, like we gotta trouble. Like once Israel is done getting their asses kicked and whatnot, I gotta go help rebuild in Gaza, bro. Like that's one of my dreams right now.
You guys see what Nico did? Nico was in Egypt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nico's a fucking
I'm a little
man.
jealous right now.
Oh yeah, that was
Nico's
dope.
man. Yeah, that's
And the other thing too was like, you know, what we're doing is we realize what we do is not popular. Like telling people to leave the two-party system, doing mutual aid, those actually aren't popular things. We realize that. But we also have to remember during the time, as much as we praise and you know, a lot of people brag about the civil rights movement today, during that time, the civil rights movement was not popular.
Yes, Abby.
No. And remember that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., when he died, he had a 75% disapproval rating across the country. 50% disapproval rating just among Black people alone.
Yep, we knew what we signed
half
up for.
of our people hated him.
We knew what we signed up for. We knew when we came out as on the ground, preaching real theory and history, taking up the lineage of the Black Panthers that they will resort to smearing us. That's what they did before, and that's what they will always do. They always will smear the Black radical that is to their left. And they don't understand them. But any last words, guys? It was fun. I didn't plan on doing stream today.
Yeah.
I jump on. It was
And
fun.
you guys just got to realize that some of the same people that was in those pictures, the white people that were throwing the rocks at the Black kids trying to integrate the school, those people are still alive.
Yep.
So like we have a long way to go.
The first Black woman who went to school in America, well, she's in like 50, 60 years old, something like that. So, yeah, they definitely are still alive. And this is one reason why they like, oh, critical race theory. They go get that Jimmy Neutron brain blast, and they like they remember all them times they was fucking with niggas, and because it was what was that? It was somebody that's in an office or something like that. And he was with this white crowd that was antagonizing Black children, and it was. They're gonna get exposed, just like these Israelis who's putting all their faces in these cameras, dancing and antagonizing. Oh yeah, your day is coming.
So JB, what you got coming up on your show?
Carlos Magus. Just 1 second. Carlos Magus, thank you very much for being a member for 10 months. Says, what will the defense policy of the U.S. under? Is the defense policy of the U.S. under us? Gotcha. Thank you so very much. So for people who got anything coming up, Sabby, since you are the resident lady of RBN, I would like to go first with you. What do you have coming up soon?
Scott Ritter will be on later on this week. Yeah.
So that's it. That's the rest of the show. We might as well just go.
Sadly,
no, Scott will be he'll be coming back on because we're going to talk more about Navalny, and we're going to talk about more about Russia. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right, Rome, what you got coming up soon?
Nothing really. I've been taking a break, man. I ain't gonna lie, but I did reach out for a grant from one of my followers. He's a class trader. He say, he say he was gonna try to look out for us as much as possible. But I have reached out for a grant for that, so I can just get this over with and hopefully have this building open by the summer. But other than that, I'm going to Flint, but I gotta work, so it's hard for me to raise money and do all that shit. So just give me like another week or so. I got bills to pay, and I gotta and I'll probably get back on raising money for Flint again.
Okay. Nick, what about you? What you got coming up soon?
Bro, you guys know I got a banger coming with you on Nick at Night. My boy Robert Durden come back on RBN. It's been too long. So he joined me tomorrow. I don't know if you guys seen this shit, but Lula was like, hey, you guys over there in Israel, you guys are Nazis. You guys are fucking Nazis, bro. So then Israel got pissed and said Lula is now persona non grata in Israel. So Lula was like, nigga, what you say? We called all their ambassadors. So you guys know I got a story to tell you on Nick at Night tomorrow. Because Lula, I have criticism of him. Some of his domestic policies. But this is why it was way better for him to beat Bolsonaro, because Bolsonaro was an Israeli Zionist puppet, a puppet of the United States. All the people, like me and Fiorello have been calling these people out. The people that were saying Lula was a puppet of the WF, and we don't agree with him on everything, but he's been rebuking them on Ukraine and now calling out Israel for the genocidal Nazis that they are, and Israel is losing their mind about that. So I have a funny story to tell you guys tomorrow night about that. So I'll see you guys then.
Okay. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on my channel, I'm going to be having on Joey Peltier. He is a water protector.
Yay, Joey! Sorry.
So we'll be talking about energy tomorrow, and then I have a few news stories that I'll be covering. And I think I'll be having a special stream this Saturday. We'll be talking about reparations with some reparations organizers too. So we're going to be doing that on my channel as well. So be sure to stay tuned. And of course, Savvy and JB will have some story cooked up for you this Thursday. Savvy, we got to talk in the background, but yeah, we'll have something for you.
But JB, you know who Joey Peltier is, right?
I know the last name, but I'm not exactly sure if he's connected to Leonard Peltier or not.
He is. That's his family. He's related to Leonard.
Wow.
Yeah, he's related to Leonard Peltier. I had him and his sister on a while back. They're the Peltier kids.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we're going to get sciencey tomorrow, so I'm actually excited about
If you
that.
don't subscribe to JB, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like literally, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm trying to be like y'all, man.
Live out your life if you're not subscribed to JB right now. What the fuck are you doing? What, you subscribe to Breaking Points instead? What you doing? Who y'all subscribe to Calculus? Who y'all subscribe to instead of JB? Someone's
Vanguard.
Nick, I'm too tired to be laughing right now. You making me.
Well, that's the only reason I'm laughing. I'm kind of delirious, kind of tired. But anyway, anything else, guys? It was a great stream.
That's all.
I think we're good. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this special stream. I know it is very late, but thank you so much for sticking around. And of course, if you guys have not, please make sure to subscribe to our Patreon. Yes, we don't make much, but we try to do the best we can with what we got. And so this is a labor of love with RBN. If you guys have not already, please make sure to subscribe to our Substack, revolutionaryblackout.substack.com, for email notifications whenever we go live and upload clips as well. As well as, I just want to give a big shout out and thank you also to Aaron as well as Scott for doing the work of our graphics designer. If you guys would like to, you guys can also go to our was it crowd
Substack?
No, I was gonna say you guys can go, sorry, I had dialysis today. If you guys would like to, you guys can go to our GoFundMe to be able to help fund our graphics designer, for they do some important work as well. So thank you so very much for that. Anywho, head out.
All right.
Bye.
Don't do drugs, kids. Well,
shit.
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. We closing out. Bye, everybody. See you.